Hello and welcome to a brand new Unsourced. Well, I'm here back again with the great Tony and Doug as we take a little bit of a detour on our Stabathon, Screamathon, with Kevin Williamson's previous return to the slasher genre with 2022 Sick. Remember when COVID movies are all the rage? Yeah, Michael Bay had one and um, Charles Band had like seven. but well, I don't have a question for this per se. Well, actually, what's your favorite return to the horror genre? Someone,
Return to the horror genre.
yeah, like a director or writer coming back to show them how it's done. Ooh,
Hmm. Doug, you want to take it away?
The one that immediately popped. I mean, maybe there's better ones, but "Drag Me to Hell" is a pretty great one where it's
Mhm.
like it's Raimi, and for just it was like, oh, Raimi's coming back to horror, but then I saw it was like PG-13. I'm like, oh, is he gonna have like shackles on or something? And then you see it's like, no, it's like really gross still. He's like everyone's getting barfed on and all kinds of fluids oozing everywhere, people getting slapped around, spoilers for the movie, it lives up to the title. Someone gets dragged to hell, so.
Mhm.
Yeah, good times.
And I'll
you Doug?
say, sorry, I was going to say Anthony Perkins, Psycho 2, Psycho 3, those sequels. Just when
Nice,
he came back, like maintained their same goodness thanks to his involvement alone.
nice. I'm gonna say I have no idea. I've never thought of this before in my life. Um, no, I'm gonna say Sick. I like Sick a lot. That's it. I'm
Hey, there you go.
I'm
I
chipping
mean,
out on it.
that's a good answer.
But let's talk about Sick. So uh, I would respect Kellen Williamson. I would respect Kellen Williamson at all. I'll say at this point, if he's making Sick 2 instead of Scream 7, because I don't know. Maybe we're talking or on the edge of good taste here, because I know that Songbird when that was announced, it was announced like I think at the end of 2020 or something like that. It was like announced really quick after or during COVID, the Michael Bay one, the romantic drama, um, and and people were like, okay, no, this is in bad taste. But I don't know. I think this premise, this franchise ish, if you want to call it that, has some promise. I think that Stick is still relevant. And if you look at what's going on in American health culture today, I think you can make like a Sick 2 with with all the insanity you see
I mean,
on social
people are
media.
still dying of COVID, like, they don't talk
That's true.
about it on the news, but, like, you could easily, like,
All the Smaha shit.
yeah, and, like, it could literally I mean, maybe they would get stale, but you could keep having it's rotating villains, but it's, like, very similar motivations because it's, like, everyone's still gonna have someone that, it's not gonna affect everyone equally because it's, like, the numbers aren't the same as, like, at the height of it, but, like, there's still people who are losing someone from COVID, and then, they could, like, who are they gonna blame for it?
Yeah, but yeah, you also have stuff like that. I think that's still ongoing. That huge measles outbreak in Texas. You
Yeah.
know, that
You could make it another it doesn't have to even be COVID because sick is just
exactly.
yeah, it's generally just like,
But
yeah,
it's this.
a
This
Mhm.
pandemic.
but it's like this whole current health culture in the United States right now. You have measles, you have anti-vax that's part of that. You have the raw
Luigi
milk shit.
Mangione.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like you could definitely keep drawing from where this is now and still have a cohesive through line throughout six. So I'm
Mhm.
saying like, why didn't they do that? And why are we having Scream 7? Kevin Williamson, did you get like hit on the head and forget that you made this movie? But let's talk about it. First
Well,
thoughts.
yeah.
Tony, take it off. What do you take take it on or go from here? What do you think of
Yeah.
Sick?
So just to kind of build off of some of the things that you guys have been saying, like certainly has some promise in terms of like being able to comment upon the American health industry. From a slasher perspective, yeah, I could see that being like a formula in which you can mine horror and terror. But when it comes to this movie, as it is, I think it's like in a weird spot where it doesn't know if COVID's gonna be, like, forever or if it's just gonna be a passing thing, and you can tell that, like, it's trying to, like, hedge its bets and be like, "Is this the way things are now, or is this just the way that we have to make this movie right now?" And I think there's a lot of, like, interesting aspects in terms of how they try to keep some of this stuff, Um, Anonymous. I think that the threats, the villains in this film, they're treated very similarly to Ghostface. Like this is very clearly like a Ghostface riff. This could be an unofficial Scream sequel even. While I like the motivations for why they're killing these people, all that stuff, I do also feel like because it is a COVID film, because the cast is so bare, it leaves it very easy to read. It makes it so like all of the twists I saw coming from a mile away. And also, while it is an exciting film, and while it's not like going to reinvent the wheel, I feel like it's too straightforward. Like it's like I saw all of the things coming so quickly that I was like, all right, well, all I have here is like well executed action sequences, which they're good, but ultimately, like of all the streaming slasher films I've ever seen, I think this is just another drop in the bucket. This left no real major impression on me beyond like this is good, this is competently made. But I don't think that I would ever like, think of this as an exemplary slasher film.
Okay.
No, I totally agree with all of that. I mean, I'm the kind of person when something is simple but it's done well, I'm like, I'm just in for the ride. Like I was thinking
Yeah.
watching this. I watched this a couple days ago. I rewatched it this morning or this afternoon, and I'm like, oh, man, it's just so relaxing to watch something and not be like irritated every fucking second about it. Maybe it's just because I'm watching all this shit recently, all these weeks, just full of just not mind-numbing bullshit, with a
Mhm.
few exceptions. That I'm like, okay, I'm just relaxed watching it. I don't. It is what it is. It's doing what it does competently, and you're right. Like the chase sequences, I think are really, really great. I think they're really great chase sequences. I think this
I
is
think
one.
these are up there with some of the top Scream chases. Like, if
Yeah,
you
they're
consider this
so
like
good.
an unofficial Scream thing, like, oh, I wish the new legacy sequel Screams had chases this good.
Exactly, and, like, I feel like while the last 3 or 4 Screams have been much more gory, there's not a lot to the set pieces outside of that, or other than maybe
Mhm.
a couple of visual stylizations here and there. But Doug, how about you? What's your first thoughts on Sick?
Yeah, so I see where Tony's coming from with all this, and that's kind of where I was like the first time I watched this when it first came out on streaming. I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. It's kind of pedestrian though, but like rewatching it, I'm more on where you're at, Elvis, where I like really just appreciate how streamlined it is, because it's just like once you get to a certain like marker halfway through, it's almost just like one chase, continuous chase. It's just someone's trying to kill you and you have to run. Like, and I just love the simplicity of that. And like, yeah, I don't think any of the twists are like hard to predict. Like Tony pointed out, like it's pretty sparse. Like it's not like there's many possibilities of like what this could be, but like I feel like that kind of just doesn't matter. Like it's just all about the in the moment of the like the chase and the survival of it all. And I do like that like the motivations of the villains, we'll talk about it, but like that it because like, okay, yes, their reaction is they're having an overreaction to something very traumatic they went through, but the facts of the matter are that their son did go to a party with someone who was positive and got it from that person who was our main character and then died. So it's like our characters are kind of selfish and shitty, and I like that. Like it just lets that be. Like it's like not. I mean, it's kind of the same thing with what other slashers like Friday the 13th, like those counselors suck. Like I'm not I'm not worried. I mean, maybe to that movie's detriment, because I'm like
The first round of counselors left Jason died, so they deserve to die,
yeah.
Kinda
And then after that, then maybe he's going a little too far. But he had a rough time. All right, go easy on him. But yeah, no, I think this is really fun, and it does work as like an unofficial Scream movie. But I think it is just better to enjoy this as its own thing, because like sometimes the screamness of it kind of contradicts like what the because like based on what the killer's motivations are, there almost is no reason for them to be doing ghost facey like stalking
They
like
should just shoot him.
they should, yeah, they should just show up with guns and shoot these kids in the night, because they do pick up a gun at one point. I'm like, oh, okay, so the knives were just like that's what you had. So
And
yeah.
the dad is so coded as like this guy has like a fucking shotgun or something, a rifle somewhere. Come on, he has like this
Mhm.
big burly
He
mustache.
looks like someone who hunts. Like, come on.
Exactly. Let's be
The
real
thing
here.
the thing I'll kind of unify in terms of like all of our different perspectives here is that there's like a baseline competency here that wasn't existing with a lot of the Scream sequels and even the television series multiple seasons. But in like the competency within a slasher film for me, like slasher is not my genre, right? Like for me, when I see a baseline good ghost film, I'm like, okay, I'm happy. When I'm watching a baseline good slasher film, I'm a little more checked out because a lot of times they lean on plot convenience and all that stuff. And when it comes to like, this like whole why didn't they use guns or knives or anything? Because we won't have a movie then, like that's really the only reason, right? And that kind of logic suspension, I'm okay with that. I come into these kinds of movies doing that all the time, right? But it's like, they could have gone that extra mile to really make something even more inventive. And I think that there is still charm to this film given its time in which it was released. But then also, I feel as though that charm of COVID of it all actually does hold this film back in many ways too.
Well, because it lacks the hindsight. Sometimes I think the lack of hindsight is interesting in that it kind of crystallizes it in this certain time and place.
Yeah,
But also, I get what you're saying, Tony, because like in a way, if it went full Eddington, especially like with how it depicts the killers, like if it fully leaned into the cliche of like, okay, the paranoid mask wearing, like make them hyper liberal, and then you could describe
Mm,
why that's why they don't use guns because
right.
they're against them.
yeah. Like
And like,
add some of the
go ahead,
hunt in
sorry.
here. Add some of the hunt in here.
I will say this about our killers in this movie, like they're less annoying than people on Twitter who see people without masks in 2025, 2026, and try to publicly shame them,
I
And
I,
then what I will say
I
is that
agree.
they should those should have been the energy that should have been with the killers in this movie.
I agree. I think that if they had made this movie like now, that would have been the tactic because it does feel like this is 2022, like beginning of 2022, January. So we're like right after like the first wave, like the first full wave that you could get, like the shot even because you had this you had to wait, get the shot first, and I was like, and then to wait 6 months to get the booster, So um, so we're in the
Yeah, it
middle of
almost
all.
feels like they're holding back because, like you said, Tony, they don't know is this forever? Because like they don't want to make the killers seem too ridiculous, because then it'd be like, well, that's our is this wrong then? Because this is like actually a still serious thing we're dealing with.
Oh, I also thought like it was also maybe like again pin the tail on the put the pin on the nail here, but politically as well, because it does feel like okay, are they liberal or are they just mad at this thing that happened to them specifically? And is she like some sort of like just doesn't care like selfish like conservative party girl, or is she just reckless? Like they don't really pull that in. So again, it's like, well, if this is going to last long, what political affiliations would they have? Who's going to care like in a year or so if
Mhm.
you take precautions or if you took precautions, you know?
I do like the bit of characterization we get closer to the end when the father is clearly not used to wearing masks, right? So, like, they're on this whole crusade about other people, upholding the CDC guidelines, and the fact that that's the motivation for these killers is really funny. Anthony Fauci said these people, but then but the added layer of like they themselves are not as careful and considerate as they claim to be, I think is an interesting bit of characterization that could have actually been delved into a bit more. But I think you guys are also right in the sense that this movie is so early that it's almost impossible for it to be able to have the kind of introspection that we're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, it might as well like take place like in like a alternate universe, really, because it even has that beginning crawl of like, oh, in 97% of the world of the United States is under quarantine. Or like, you could say that as a statistic, but in functionality, we're all fucking made to work and get out of the
Yeah,
house, man.
people were doing whatever they want. Like there's very few places that were like very
Strict about it.
yeah about
Mhm.
procedures. I think like leaning into some more specificity with the characters and those ideas could benefit, especially like if you tried to build a franchise out of it, because there's that moment also near the end, like when the killer's motives are revealed and they're confronting our main character, where she points out of like, well, your son was also at that part. What was he doing there? And I think that contradiction is like let's lean into that, but like that would also mean the son would have to actually be a
Character.
like that he's just an idea.
Yeah, I think that it does want to thread the needle a little bit too much about where our sympathies lie as well. Like they have very sympathetic, um, they have a very sympathetic perspective and motivation. I don't think it wants to lose it that much, but then you know it goes back to like what kind of people would take it this far. That's what if you go too far in, you lose the sort of streamline that me and Doug like. I think where okay, this is more point blank. It becomes more complex, more nuanced, and this movie's like a straight 80 minutes, if that, including credits. So I definitely does not have the time, nor does it care about having the time to actually develop that any further.
Yeah, because you get like a cold open of like what 10 minutes and then like 20 minutes of build up and then the rest is just action. Like it's very there's not any really any fat on the bone.
Yeah, it's why it's a better movie than any of the other Scream sequels.
Exactly.
Like if Kevin Williamson like was able to let go of some of the like legacy shit with that franchise, he'd be able to make better Scream movies.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree because
Yeah, it's just Ghostface coming at you with a knife. Now run, like, and that's the movie.
this is what 6 should have been, in my opinion. Honestly, I think I compared it to the 6. I'm not sure if it came out before or after 6. I think that 6 was long.
They should have gotten. Yeah, 6 came out after this, and that's made 6 worse in my view because I was like, where was this quality of like intensity? Like even before the chasing starts, I still like the build, even though like
because the characters are defined enough. They have personality.
They're defined enough for me to have some thread of tension when I start seeing masked killers just like lurk, because I love all those shots of them missing, just like someone walking behind them or all the stalking and stuff. Like I said, even if it doesn't make as much sense, they should just like have guns and shoot them. But like it is creepy and it's fun.
The only way I'll push back here is that, like, I agree that 6 doesn't match the strengths in terms of pacing in the action set pieces, but like the characters in Sick, I do not give a shit about anybody in this movie. And like, say what you will about 6, but I cared about the core 4. I cared about certain side characters in that movie.
I can't be with you on that boat, man.
Like,
DJ,
I'm sorry, but like,
you didn't cry when DJ died.
Derek Jr., DJ.
Yeah, forgive me for being so callous. I'm sorry.
DJ Ron. I'm like, yes, man. Now run, you dumb.
Well, because he's like almost encapsulates how straightforward the movie is that he's just straightforward, like fuckboy boyfriend. But then when shit hits the fan, it's like not even doing like the Scream like subversion of tropes, but it's like the characters are willing to just fucking like go like when it's go time, and I do like enjoy that, even though like they're so thinly like portrayed initially that I like that's like, okay, now it's time to survive. They're just like, yeah, I'll fucking climb down the side of this cabin now and run for it. And that like and he's willing to be, seems to be kind of a piece of shit, but he's willing to be selfless and help them get away.
Yeah, I know. Like he is like 90% like, oh, I'm a nice guy. Why don't you want to be with me? Like that same kind of thread that Kim Williamson keeps going back in his slasher movies, where like the relationship between men and women, like the power dynamics, and he is like on the cusp of saying some really out of pocket shit whenever he talks to main character, who's played by Gideon.
He's already being pretty out of pocket. He showed up to their house unannounced.
I mean, that could be anything, okay? But when he's like, he's basically about to slut shame her like 90% of the time. Like, you're scared of something real. Like, fuck you, man. Come on.
I think that DJ is actually like one of the weakest elements of the film, and it's because his character is existing only to remind the audience about our protagonist being inconsiderate. like the whole thing about like her, sleeping with other people. We're supposed to like at some degree like feel bad for DJ. That's the way they're playing the scene a little. And I'm like, no, I don't give a shit. She can do whatever she wants, right? And then they're trying to like tie that in with like what happens in the third act in this movie. And I'm like, no, like stop that. That's stupid. You're putting too much of the onus on this woman. And like it makes sense in terms of like the slashers themselves have no logical consistency. But also at the same time, it's like I don't want the film itself to be built around this particularly.
I get what you're saying. It kind of does feel like it wants to have its cake and eat it too, though, with Parker in terms of like, yes, it
Yeah.
is trying to tie that thread of
Yeah.
like her selflessness and like kind of slutting around at the parties is what costs this family their son. But then she immediately correctly retorts, "What was your son doing?" It's not like he was an unwilling participant, like he went to that party and made out with a girl with no mask of his own volition. So it's like he's responsible. Like it's not her fault.
Right. And again, I think that this cut to the heart. We're like, this is made too soon. It doesn't want to have a defined villain. I feel like even now, if there was a sweet spot in like 2023, late 2023, where this could have came out and there was like more defined barriers between where our sympathy should lie between these sets of characterizations and these sets of motivations. But even now, made right now, people were like, "Oh, you can't cast so many people as villains. That'd be morally wrong." And I feel like that's also the same case, making this too soon. If you cast them as being too morally wrong, it becomes, I would say, I don't know, propagandistic, which is the wrong word for it. But I think too sensationalized, a little bit too sensationalized.
The thing is that like the problems when it comes to narratively actually have like the COVID of it all, like it's certainly a huge problem, right? But like when it comes to what this movie is, it's like because it's so stripped down to just the bare essentials of everything, and then it is unsure of which eggs to put in which basket. It makes it so this can only be good in my eyes and not great, like it can't stick to one lane. There's the thing that people say sometimes where it's like, oh, horror movies can be reactionary, but that's also kind of the thing where they're kind of exploring a headspace through reactionary ideology, right? The whole idea of like this when the stranger calls myth, that's also kind of like trying to tell you to be afraid of your neighbors and stuff, right? Like all horror stories kind of have the roots in some kind of reactionary thing, and I think that this movie is doing that, and then it's also kind of self-conscious, and it needs to kind of pick a lane a bit.
Yeah, it's just not fully formed in what it wants to say. Like it knows that it wants to like touch upon these things, on these themes, but it doesn't. Like it either needs it. Like I like again, I enjoy the stripped down nature of it, but like if it wants to actually like have a coherent, strong thesis, it either needs to like drill down onto like who are these characters and especially like politically what are they supposed to represent, or you go into full fantasy world and you make them like the Antifa commandos in Eddington. Like the killers are just like ethereal, like they're not even people.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not going to push back on that, Tony, because you're completely correct. It wants to comment on it. It wants to use this as a. I think it's scared. It's a scared movie. I'm not gonna say like unlike 3 or some of the other really bad Scream tie-in stuff, where it's taking a topic and just mishandling it. I think it just doesn't. It just takes the topic, and I think it just does enough to make a slash movie work, but it's like it just keeps dipping its toe into water, and that I think that you can feel the pullbacks whenever it comes time to actually invest and actually directly discuss the theme of the movie. Like it's again just a little tip, and then we're going back to an action set piece, and then that is kind of disappointing or in a way, but I don't know. I think just the rest of it is just so fun, man. I love it.
I think it's just the directing is so strong that
it's
makes
very
up
strong
for the
very
writing.
strong.
John Hyams is just it makes me want to like. I mostly know him as a TV guy. Like
But he did the Universal Soldiers sequels, didn't he?
Yeah, I heard those are really good.
I heard those are really good too.
Also, the Black Summer episodes that he directed, that Canadian vampire, Canadian zombie.
Black Summer is fantastic. Black Summer is like one of the best shows ever made. Man.
Yeah, Yeah, and the action
wow.
in the episodes that he does is like really, really good. It's like you're like, wow, for you could tell it's a TV budget still, but you're like, wow, this is like really well staged and block
Yeah,
action.
the first season of that is fantastic. I haven't seen it; it's so good. It's like only like 10 minutes each or something, but
Mhm.
it's like a pseudo anthology, Pulp Fiction, and like anti-chronological kind of
Yeah, it
story.
just hops around from character to character, and sometimes you cut away mid scenario, so you're not sure if you're even coming back to those characters. You're like, oh, or did they survive that? I don't know.
There's an entire episode where like they did a reverse thing, where every scene is the scene before the first scene. Is fucking great.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
episode's cool. And then there'll just be like cool one-offs, like, oh, what if they went into this creepy school? And you're like, yeah, this
And then
school is fucking
there's
creepy.
kids doing a battle Thunderdome.
Yeah, it's like Lord of the Flies on crack.
It's fucking great.
The only thing that I've seen from Himes was the fight scene from Day of Reckoning in
Yes,
the
you're right.
sporting gooding store. Like, have you seen that fight, Doug?
I think yeah,
I see that. I see that clip
is
posted
the
by Action Movie Twitter
Unsourced.
ever so often. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I've never seen the actual. Like, I like the original Universal Soldier, so I'm interested to see like yeah what the just not just the action in the sequels, but I don't know, Jean-Claude Van Damme's fun, and not that I'm expecting like an Academy Award winning performance from him, but I've heard that he's like more comfortable as a performer in those sequels, so I'm interested, like, what does that look like, because he is part of the charm in the 90s. Jean-Claude Van Damme is it that he's so out of place, so
Mhm.
I'm just curious of like how do those movies feel like what does that even mean? More natural Jean-Claude Van Damme, but also Dolph Lundgren is a big part of why the original is great. So, and like the fact that he's back in all the sequels, I'm like, ooh, fuck yes, I mean,
Yeah, and I love I fucking wore the tape out of Unisol when I was a kid. I love that movie. And I never seen any of the sequels because I'm like, why would there be sequels? He becomes a real boy at the end. It's just so
it is a
stupid.
complete story, and then the second one before the Himes ones with
He's just
Black
a regular guy in
Dynamite.
that one. He's just a regular guy in that one. It's
y-
so lame.
Yeah,
He's like Die Hard. Like, oh, he's a regular guy trapped in the computer warehouse where they make Universal Soldiers. Like, I don't want to see that. I want to see him
and
kick
then
ass.
Michael J. White's in it, I think, and I love
Yeah,
him, but like I'd rather just watch a good movie with
he's
him.
RoboCop 2 in that movie,
Oh, okay.
but like a not a good one. And I don't like RoboCop to begin with. Um, all right, so yeah, no, it makes me want to check these out because again, the sequences are strong, like from the jump. The first one is, I think, what every kind of scene in six should have been like. I mean, because it takes advantage of like that kind of dingy apartment setting a lot stronger than a lot of the other sequences in six did. You know, that urban environment, New York. Like it's so fun. Like it's a little bit of cat and mouse stuff, and it's just so, it's brutal, but you can tell that it's very choreographed in a very intentional, very paced way. It's a joy to fucking watch, man.
But it feels sloppy enough that you can kind of buy the reality of like, yes,
Exactly,
these are two real people struggling to like
exactly.
kill each other.
And there's like a second win moment too, and it's like the prologue. Why are we having like this kind of conversation and action here? You're
Because it
going.
almost makes you think he's gonna survive the opening. You're like, wow, you're taking a moment for him to like rally himself and all this. So you're like, is this our main guy? And it's like, no, he
it
does
goes
not matter.
it goes on just long enough, and I feel like one that's probably a necessity because they have like five actors at any given moment, but also like it does help sell the surprise there at the end, which I enjoyed a lot. It's but also like that scene. So yeah, the opening sequence is this regular guy. Just recap. Let's start the recap movie. We get this one guy who starts getting text messages saying, "Hey, you ever get tested?" He's like, "No, f you. I need my toilet paper," which I think is like the most dated thing in the movie.
Yeah,
Like I,
everyone's
Yeah.
crazy for the toilet paper's out. Shit.
like, I think that was like one of the things people groaned about in reviews. I saw like, come on, yeah, we get it. People wanted toilet paper back then. Um, and he goes back to his house and gets jumped by a guy in all black outfit, and they have an amazing fight that destroys his entire fucking apartment. There's a gun swap at one point. It's phenomenal, and then he gets just completely just get murked by a knife, and it's fantastic.
As soon
Mhm.
as he knew he was being stalked in the store, like I'm not a cab, of course, but like just call the police. I don't know. Like, like you have a text message from someone who has a picture of you from behind saying like nice ass. I'd be like, okay, someone's sending this to me. I'm a white person, protect me. That's what that guy should be saying.
Verbatim, yes.
That's what and the cops will be like, yes, sure, Mr. White Man.
Right away, yes.
Yeah, well, we'll send a squad.
Yeah, the whole SWAT's coming. What I love about this action sequence is how it's all shot on like long lenses. You could tell that they were still really scared about shooting
Yes.
in like tight spaces. So like it's very unusual to get a long lens shot action sequence for very obvious reasons. But it feels like a nice challenge for the filmmakers involved, and it completely translates so well.
Right, because you get this entire vista of the fight, and I don't know, man. It's like the cheapo Peacock original stream movie. Peacock, remember that? Um, it's still around.
Yeah.
I
And
think
yeah,
it is, unfortunately.
and it's like kind of a little bit of breathtaking. Like you're like, whoa, man, this is like luxurious to see unfold.
It helps with the sense of space, especially once you get to the later parts with the cabin. Because, like, I feel like once they're being chased around that cabin, have a good idea of the geography of the space, and I feel like that shooting this way, like, kind of lends to that. But even in this prologue, with these like 10 minutes we spend, or even less for just the fight, I have a decent idea of like what the layout of this apartment is.
Which is very impressive on long lenses, which gives you so much less of the space, right? The fact that we're getting like not a crazy amount of coverage, but every piece of coverage that we get, especially with people, are usually medium close-ups. Like you're always seeing like above the belly button, everybody like is shot that way. And yet still we're never confused about where they are in the space. It doesn't feel like they're making any kind of concessions. I'm only noticing this because I've got a brain disease called cinema.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it doesn't feel like there's any cheats or like the characters are like teleporting or anything, which is also important for the killer themselves, because it does feel like that it is back to like what I enjoy about the best depictions of Ghostface, is that this is a person in a mask, and that while they can be like sneaky and creep around, that they are still bound by physical limits.
They have to think it out. They have to plan it out. So you can see what the thought process is because they're making those actions in a defined space. You know, there's not a lot of cheating on. Oh, they're jumping out of some sort of insane direction or angle. Like
Like, how
no,
could they have been there? Like, no, yeah, it all tracks. Like, I never call bullshit.
exactly and that's what really helps with Ghostface. And to take it back to Scream. Remember, this is about Scream. You can see Drew Barrymore's face still there. Is that it really does help when it's like Billy or Stu or Miss Loomis or Mickey, that they're making these actions, that they're real defined people, that they're regular people. It really does help a lot. It goes a long way with their personalities as we get to know them. There's one guy, the other guy who I don't think speaks once. Does he ever speak? The other son.
Oh, he just like grunts and yells.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't remember him having lines.
Exactly.
No, he's got a gnarly face when they show him.
He just fucking beats
I
him
like
up
to
like
think he already looked fucked up, and like, it's just a surprise. They think that she thinks she did that when she bashed his face in, but it was already kind of fucked up.
Yeah. After that, we get to meet our first two main characters. Who are they? They are. Let's see. 1 second.
They're
Disposable.
Disposable, yes, but
girl.
they're Parker and Miri. Parker, played by Gideon Adlon, who really does look a lot like Honora. What's her face? Mikey Madison.
A little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's why Mikey Madison played her in that sitcom based on her mom's life.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because she does play Pamela Allen. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and
That makes so much sense.
specifically her. She meant to play her. 'Cause I think
So that means that she's sisters with Odessa Zion too,
yeah,
right?
exactly. She's a sister, and I think Odessa played herself in that show. I don't know.
That's so funny. I
Yeah.
had no idea that that was the same Adelon when that was that came up there. I just felt like she had nothing to do. I feel like like specifically Gideon is just like nothing going on, totally thankless, like slasher
and
protagonist
yet
role.
I feel like she's more defined than any of the kids. Because
Sure, yeah.
I couldn't tell you a thing about Miri other than friend has her friend's back, or well, she cites she'll call out her friend and be like, Parker, you're always sabotaging good things. Like we're told things about Parker, but like we
Through
don't.
her.
The only things that I learn about her like actually are like through the action, like when I see her fucking brutalize a guy and like smash his face, like that's to me that's like me learning about Parker, but like being told that she like
Mary can fight.
Yeah.
That's the Mary, and probably is. Do we know what they're in college for? I don't think they're.
for
Mm,
being
For surviving a
girls.
slasher. Yeah.
because I'm gonna assume that Mary is in college to do something medically because she like makes herself a fucking splint at one point. Like, what the fuck?
That's true.
So
That was cool, and that was one of those things where I was like, even though I know nothing about these characters, I like that when it's go time that they're coming up with like it feels like
like the
clever
characters
bits
have
of ingenuity.
the characters have some anima to them. They're not just sitting around talking about and having dinner. Like, oh, maybe my redheaded roommate is fucking someone. Let's just continue having dinner. You know,
Well, and they're not just waiting to be killed. They feel
exactly.
okay, a real
Mhm.
person's
Proactive.
going to try everything they can do to survive.
Yes, it's proactive, and I love that. You know, even though they're thin, I like seeing characters get off their fucking ass. You know, I do.
What I will say though is I wish that they were more unlikable in that context. I mean, like less COVID conscious,
Yes,
because like I get the motivations, and I think the motivations are sound when we get them in the end. But I would have liked it if Parker and Miri were like maybe. Well, actually, no. Maybe if Parker
jackasses.
was just yeah, Parker was a jackass, and Miri was still in that position where she was like, "You're kind of messing up right now." I think
But
that would have been a
but
more
she's like
interesting.
but she's more enabling it. Like see,
Sure, yeah.
I'm speaking real for a second. You know, my dad died the same way the kid died in this movie, the
Oh, I'm
son.
sorry to hear
You
I'm
know,
that.
so
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. He was in hospital. We didn't get to see him before they even had webcams. You know, so
Wow.
no one got to see him and everything like that. And like I'll tell you, man, when I was in that same headspace where I'm like, you know, if anyone taught me like wrong, this I'll just lose it, you know, at this point. So I totally understood that. So I understand like I would want someone the person I would in this hypothetical if I was doing like this, right? In some sort of movie to be like a real jackass. But I like that she's not one because like it is a
She's just
spectrum.
a normal person because like a
She's like
regular
she just likes to
person
have fun.
there are people who are assholes, like blatantly assholes, and like will just like shove their selfishness in people's faces. But she strikes me more as just like she's in college, she wants to have fun and party, and then is a little bit thoughtless sometimes. Like, but not in a like malicious way. It's kind of just like regular level kid selfishness.
Exactly. Like it's we don't even really know that she ever went further than that one party, you know, and she is trying to seclude, and she's trying to seclude in a really redundant way by going for a friend, right? But whatever, you know. We
Hey,
and
they're in her bubble.
exactly they're in her bubble. Oh man, this is much better than that fucking movie.
I never saw the
Oh, thank God.
bubble.
Oh, it's fucking
Doug,
terrible.
that's probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Zoo,
Like straight up.
it
It
makes
has an
Zoolander.
interesting cast, but I don't want to
It, ma-
see it.
it makes Zoolander 2 look like a fucking masterpiece, man.
I also a movie I never saw.
Oh, you should never see it. How are you so lucky?
When a comedy looks that bad, like I can stomach a lot of bad, but there's something just about a bad comedy that like really it just makes me want to die. So I just like I don't know that I can do it.
All right, but so yeah, no, I do like that they weren't because that's the reality, and I come to learn in the last couple years that I can't control how other people react to things or how people. I would say I would call myself COVID conscious if people who are calling themselves COVID conscious now weren't fucking assholes about it, you know? Because I can't. I live in New York, the fucking one of the largest cities in the world. Everyone's always thousands of people is on the street any given minute, you know? I can only control what I do. I can't control what they do, and I'm not going to try. That's a fault. That's a losing battle. So I do like that. I understand that more now. But you know, in the wish fulfillment, you know, like death proof, death wish kind of fantasy, I would, yeah, I would think it would be more satisfying if they were just complete pieces of shit. Like, who can wear this? It hurts my ears. Oh, I can't
because
breathe.
because it doesn't feel like that she's depicted that way for the sake of realism, for just being right. It more just feels like them kind of pulling their punches.
Exactly, it does.
Of like,
Yeah.
we don't want to go too far with that, so let's just make her
That's what it
mildly.
feels like to me.
Exactly. I can totally agree. And at that time, I definitely think that was the intent. Just now, with some hindsight, I do think that it kind of works unintentionally as a little bit of depth. I totally agree. It
I
was
see that.
definitely cowardice. But in hindsight, now I think it plays a little bit different. I do like that they're not like that, even though they probably should have been portrayed like that in the time they were. Like they were really kind of hammering on a theme about like personal responsibility and community responsibility. They should have been.
She should have been to multiple parties. Like she should
Exactly.
be responsible for multiple people's deaths.
They should have brought out a list of like,
That's the
here's all the
sequel.
people, here's all the people who died at that party, and we didn't even kill them. This is all people who died of COVID from that party. They should have just brought out a book, a binder.
Yeah, it goes for a comically long time. Like they just keep reading names. Like I didn't know that party was that big.
Exactly. We only see like that one shot with only the two of the characters, no one else in the background. What a fucking social distancing movie this was.
I think that like what we're getting at is like it would have been funnier if they like made some of the iconography of this time period a little more pronounced too, right? Like there's a part of me that's like, why isn't there a COVID testing kill in this movie? Like that would have been amazing.
Because the
Yes.
iconography of her unconscious getting the swab up her nose there's something there. It's just like we just needed
I
to
was
go
shocked.
a little for
Y-
like no one there was never a thing where just stab it all the way up their nose and pull out their brain or something.
I was shocked, and I think this would have satisfied both ends of that. I was shocked that after the guy died, that there wasn't an additional shot that showed them, begin to, and then obviously cut away, but begin to
Yes.
test his dead body.
This would have been excellent. That would have been a great idea.
I was like, I think that because I kind of feel like that's gonna happen. Because like,
I'm
you contest it,
surprised they didn't.
like that would have been like perfectly, darkly comedic, like Scream should be. But whatever. Missed opportunity, but that would have been great.
It also would have been more
this one is
consistent.
trying to play it more straight. I feel like they aren't likely. I wish there was a little bit more like dark humor in it.
I agree. All right. So they go to their the dad's cabin, Parker's dad's cabin, and they start leisuring around, doing cabin stuff. There's a lake, etc. And Parker's one night stand situationship DJ. I don't think we ever we don't know what that fucking means or stands for. I'm gonna call him another one of we talked about him having a really bad attitude. I still think he is I'm putting him like the lower ranking of good Derek's, because I think that while he is obviously a fucking chud, or 99% of the way on the way to be one. I do think that he does rally. I'm gonna call him rally. I'm gonna call him a good Derek.
When it matters, like when the
Exactly.
shit hits the fan, so that like that's false. I feel like that's should be in a story like this when we learn the most about characters is like
Exactly.
when their feet's to the fire, what are we gonna see them do?
Exactly. So
I
I
think
do.
my only issue with him is that he looks too much like Brett Ratner,
He
and like that just
does.
implicitly made me not trust him.
He
But
he
like
looks like a
everything you
freak.
guys are saying is right. Mhm.
Wait a minute. He played young Clark Kent in Men of Steel. It's fucking hilarious. That
Oh
kid bulked up.
man,
It's funny.
He like so weedy in Men of Steel. What the fuck do you mean? He played young Clark Kent. Oh my god, that's crazy.
I only remember the little kid Clark Kent, and then like adult. Like I don't even remember like that age that he's supposed to be playing.
That's it. That's the little kid Clark Kent. That's him.
Oh, okay, grown up. Okay, never mind. I guess that was 12 or that was 9 years ago when this was made. So okay.
Yeah, 16 or something. Yeah, crazy. Well, no, actually, no. There was a middle one. There was a middle one. I think he's playing the one that was in the closet.
The world's too big, Mom.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy. That's crazy.
Okay. Well, he's a good actor then, because I like that scene.
That's a good scene. Okay, it does. I think he does sell the role of of DJ here. I'm gonna call him Derek. I mean DJ. DJ. Um, because I agree. Like I do think that there is some light behind the eyes when he's trying to like bear his soul. But it's obviously terrible stuff he's saying, but it's kind of genuinely terrible stuff that like like a 20-year-old guy who likes to fuck at college at parties would say, like why were you at that party without me, etc. Like I can believe that. I believe that
Because
this is
also, like a lot of those guys, it feels like mostly an act. Like
exactly
like you're kind of full of shit, dude. Like
he's
just admit that you
posturing.
care about her.
Yeah, he's
Why can't you
posturing.
just why can't you just talk like a normal person? Like you have to be like, oh, I don't care, but I care.
Yeah, he's projecting a bit. He's doing that whole kind of primal ape like thing, you know, like oh, puffing up the chest, you know.
Right.
And I you know, so it's not great, yeah, not a great character trait to have, but I did feel a little bit more genuine. I think it's a little bit. I think he's a good performer for that.
My,
I
my
do, I
only my only problem with the way that scene is written is that it's Williamson trying to make Parker look worse by being like, you know, we get this establishment of like, oh, he's this like loser that she doesn't want to hook up with, and she has every right not to, right? And then when he's there, it's trying to make us go like, but he's actually a nice guy, and like she's
yeah,
kind of like icing him out for no reason, you know?
Because of what the friend says later too, of like he clearly loves you. You should let him. Like you don't need that.
you know what? You know what? Okay, so yeah, I'm not sure if Doug's seen it, but I know that you haven't seen it, Tony. But this exact same shit happens in Dawson's Creek.
Oh
Really?
God.
Yeah,
Okay.
with Michelle, what's her name? Michelle
Williams, right?
Michelle
Obama?
Williams. Michelle, I was gonna say Williamson, like that'd be right, but yeah, Michelle Williams' first love
Michelle
interest
Obama, I wish.
in Dawson's Creek. The exact same shit happens, but there's one guy, and he's played by like what's his face? He was a famous guy. He was
Casey Affleck.
in Boardwalk Empire.
Oh,
Michael
Michael
Shannon.
Pitt?
Michael Pitt, yeah, Michael Pitt, yes, and he's like this like frat or not frat guy during high school, but he's like like a jock guy who keeps trying to wear her down the entire season. He's like a fucking little stalker creep about it, and he finally does. And then Michael Pitt lets a show like in between seasons, and they write him out the immediately.
He's always getting ridden out of shows that happen to Boardwalk, Hannibal.
But he pesters her in the entire first season of that fucking show, and it's like, oh yeah, give him a chance. He's stalking you because he really cares, man. He's like a high school guy. This is rare. Like, oh my god, it's so annoying. I gotta say, I do like that. It's just like 10 minutes of this movie. Maybe that's coloring it for me.
This was before Facebook, when everyone took their stalking online, right? And then like
Exactly.
nobody could actually like talk about how they check each other out, you know, like that's back in the 90s when like that thing was seen as endearing, even if it was boundary crossing and gross.
Yeah, it's just so like over the top. Like Michelle Williams is like you know, she's a great actress, and the character is written really well overall in Dawson's Creek. And it's like, why you don't even give this guy the time of day, you know, at all. Like, do your own stuff, man. You go, girl.
Because even for the credit we're giving DJ, we can't overstate enough. He does show up uninvited and unannounced.
Yep.
He fucking stalks her.
He just
does.
like, because she posted it, you know, and is like, oh, well, you posted it so you wanted me to see, you know. It's like, well, but you can't do that. You can't just show up places.
Exactly. And then also he does the idiot move, and like I'm going through her Instagram, like, who is this guy? Why are you kissing him? So it's
Yeah,
awful.
you made sure that all of my online friends would see it. You wanted me to see it, Parker.
You wanted exactly. He's like a fucking nice guy. Shut it.
And then she kind of makes a smile after he shows up. So you're like, she did want that. I kind of wish she was more skeezed and annoyed that he was there, because then it's like confirmation. But like, okay, no, he shouldn't be right here.
Exactly. So that's why I feel like this. That's why I call him a little bit more interesting than Derek, because this is the kind of character that Derek should have. I don't think that Sydney should have cared about Derek. I think she should have been in like a relationship with him because it feels safe, and he should have been really fucking annoying, like DJ is.
That
Derek
would've
is
been
so
interesting, yeah.
Derek is so fucking boring. And did you see? Just to round it back to Scream, Derek kind of going on this giant rant like a couple of days ago, going about like, oh man, people don't seem like Scream anymore. I'm sorry if I ruined Scream for you. And he like did like 20 tweets about it. about being in Scream 2. Like, what the fuck, man, is wrong with you?
What? Why now? Why is he getting butthurt about being in Scream
Oh, because
now? Why
because
why wouldn't he be? Why wouldn't he be like taking ownership of how people are turning on Scream 7 now and being
well,
like,
that's what it
yeah,
was.
let's hate on it.
That
Okay.
was it's like boycott Scream. I'm sorry if I ruined Scream for you. Like, what the
It's
fuck?
like this is not about you, man. Like, it's about
It's
a lot bigger stuff.
so I'm like, oh,
Girl,
you
it's
are
about the genocide.
Dario Connell. You really are as annoying as you are in that movie in real life.
Okay, well, I'm a two-isher voter. One is genocide, the other is Jerry O'Connell. So I like those are the things that like really motivate me.
Yeah, get rid of Dario Connell, and then I'll be like pro Scream 7, clearly. um, but no, yeah, no. So I feel like there's texture there. I'm gonna say he's annoying. I do think the movie does try to glad hand it a bit. I think also to give some drama, because if she hated him like through and through, it really would not be like that um interesting if he died. You know, but that's the fact that she likes him just a little bit. Like she's like maybe she's just not honest with herself, which is like the most disgusting thing to say. Like she's just not. She doesn't realize it yet. You know, um, and yeah, is stupid, but it does add some more heightened emotion there. And with how parsed down this movie is, you kind of need to jam in the emotion where you can get it.
Right, because like you said, we're really just getting like 10, 15 minutes of this. So like I they could do more, but I feel like they're just being economic with it.
And I do like that shot where you know the killer plays that that's what's the band?
Oh, the song that was at the party.
Yeah,
I'm
I know
blanking
the
on what
band. I know the band. I just can't remember the band. Maybe please, oh,
Nirvana.
give me a little, give me a little. It's I'm gonna say soft cell, but no, it's not. It's not. Erasure, fucking Erasure, of course. Um,
Yeah, a little respect.
A little respect, yeah, right, Razor. And like he likes like just just tidying up, he leans down to the fuck right play, like he just put himself like a meerkat. Like shit. Like he knows immediately that something's going down and he hides to
Yeah,
pursue.
I like that they're not like stupid, like that they just like is because it's not. How would you ignore that? You know, there's
Right.
no way to besides the movie trying to keep itself tight. Like, there's no need to stretch out like the reveal of like, oh no, there's someone in the house. It's like, okay, they can maybe take your phones or your chargers in your sleep, but like once they start doing shit like that, you're like, okay, the gig's up.
Yeah, I do like that she thinks it's him replaying the video because he's playing it in the video and like, oh, but he's like, it's not me, it's not me, it's
Mhm.
someone else. Someone else is not in the house playing, fucking using the radio. It's so good. But let me actually
And this
time.
kind of sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, this also kind of ties into the killer themselves, and this is something we haven't really touched on, which is like the iconography of this killer, right?
Mm,
Just like a black outfit and the white mask, as we are seeing on this poster right now, right?
yes.
Obviously, this movie isn't trying to like hang on this stuff too much. Like, there's never like a moment where we're just like close up on the person's face as they're contemplating, like we'd get with a ghost face. And I think that because of that, and because we're able to not have to have a hang up on the design of this person, it actually makes for the sufficient storytelling to be even more efficient. We don't have to have these like moments where we look at close Ghostface's face. We could just have that something fucked up is going on. We can see that they're in the room, and the action sequence is going to just go on without having to have these little moments of pause.
And during this early part, they can just exist as a figure in the background that you don't have to draw. I mean, you could see them like lurk behind them because it's not even like that the background's in shallow focus. Like, we could see them, but it's that the movie doesn't need to like go in then for a close up. Be like, all right, now like let's see what they're planning as they do. It's like, no, we just see them making moves.
Yeah, completely agree. I think that um it there's an inner life to that. We might let's call it, it's obviously plot convenience and contrivance, but it does indicate or at least gesture to an inner life that we're not being held by the hand on. which is nice. It keeps things peppy. It keeps things moving. I love the energy. This movie's got momentum. You know, it's not, which is I really appreciate. We're not taking time to slow shit down and talk about how franchises like to kill people and don't like to kill people, and maybe they do like to kill people.
Well, actually, like that's something that's interesting too in the context of like after Scream, right? Because like
Mhm.
Scream's competitive advantage was the whole meta thing, right? But now every horror film to some degree has some meta angle where they need to be hyper aware of how certain people would act in certain scenarios because audiences just aren't, the same kind of dumb as they used to be anymore, Like cinema sins ruined an entire generation for in terms of immersion in that sense. So this movie is very similarly to any other slasher that's released in these times, has to be a little smarter with how these characters behave and stuff. And because it isn't hung up on the iconography of Ghostface themselves or just calling out genre conventions, it actually makes it so it's like all of the fat's cut off. No one actually cares about that stuff anymore. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of it in Scream 7, but it's like a movie like Sick is showing you that like you can do that stuff without having to stop and be like, and this is what's going to happen to the final girl.
Exactly. Like I'm gonna be sick seeing how I didn't mean to say it that way, but seeing how they try to pull that stuff into seven.
I
Like,
can't wait to hear Mindy's rules.
can you, man, the rules.
I'm glad I'm not seeing it in the theaters because I would just blow my brains.
I'm glad. That first knife wipe. Oh man.
They blew their load so much in 6 with the double knife wipe. I would like my eyes rolled so hard. I wanted to roll out.
That felt like a Fortnite kind of like.
They were both emoting after
Exactly.
they got after a kill in quotation marks because he didn't die. Like that made everything about that finale. Fuck
but
that
back to the kids. I do again. I they're not lived in characters, but I do love how weird they are. Like they get high and they have this little dance party. And Miri, and I gotta say this extra for me. Like, at the height of COVID, I was like Bubble Boy. I was like fucking Jake Gyllenhaal. Okay.
Best life.
Yeah, but she is dancing with them, continuously spraying sanitizer around herself. And it's like, what the hell are you doing?
It's a fun visual.
Why are you here?
Especially the detail beforehand where it's like she won't share the joint, but then she's like, if I had my own, like I like that little bit of like that did feel like a real like college person in that time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fair. Like me and my cousins, we had a little bit of a thing, right? Like not after COVID, like mid 2021. I'm like, yeah, I just gotta get my own. So that's felt really real to me.
Yeah.
Like just give me my own, man.
Also, the fact that when High DJ starts saying a story about a baby swallowing a steak, like
oh my god,
this whole thing was making like, where did Williamson hear this? like where is it that he decided to put?
I've heard this before too.
Oh, I never heard because they talk about like it's like an urban like that people know, and I was like, I'd never heard that story.
But it's so dumb, and had no relevance, and I think that there's like some of this feels like Trevor B sides, in like that particularly because Trevor, as I maintain, is a goofball character at heart. Trevor is a dummy, is a corny dummy, and this feels so much like, oh, this is some lines I should have given him. Like what are we doing here? And he's trying to impress this girl.
And then someone would tell him, "Shut up, Trevor." Like, yeah, that would be something Trevor would say.
And he's trying to impress this chick too. And he's like, why are you telling this elaborately long story about a baby dying?
And the fact that he so believes it, but then they immediately are like, no, that wouldn't happen. Like, it's impossible.
Like, why would a snake go into it itself? Like, it likes milk,
Smells the milk.
What a dumbass. So again, I do love the little flourishes like that. They're not great characters, but I do love the little flourishes.
It makes the contrast of like, because it's like a minute later we get him hearing the song and realizing someone. So it's like we can show that he's an idiot, but he's also not brain dead. Like he's not that dumb.
Yeah.
Like he has like common like basic instincts.
Exactly.
He has a curious mind.
Like Curious George. He's a dummy. Let's see here. So nothing else. Let's see what happens next. Okay, so here's the sound. And he warns Pamela Adlon's daughter, Gideon, Parker. For her name, damn. And all hell breaks loose.
Pamela should have been in this. She should have called Parker on the phone and been with a Bobby voice and been like, "Yeah, Parker, make sure you're staying safe."
Yeah, like on Zoom, just get the Zoom in there.
It's revealed that the killer is Louis C.K.
All right, so DJ, heads back in while Parker and her friend, navigate outside the house through the windows and crevices. And DJ holds them off. There's a huge scuffle, and it is pretty thrilling. I think it has maybe like one of my
Great fight scenes.
One of the best visuals I've seen in a horror movie, in a slasher, especially in a while. Because there's the part where I'm really bad describing this, but the part where he gets the upper hand and then he tries to reach through the door and gets stabbed like a bajillion times, and then we don't see the prescript anymore until the door opens, and you see him like stumble out, and it just pans down to like his tippy toeing, like his heels like 3 inches off the ground.
Because in real time, like I like that you're discovering at the same time as like you probably know when you cut away, like, oh, he's a goner, but like you don't see him get speared. So then
Exactly.
like you're trying, like your brain's process, like, how is he moonwalking right now? Like, I don't know how that's fine. Then like, oh.
And even when he's getting stabbed inside of the house, like he throws the like tapestry over him, and as he's getting stabbed, and you're like, yeah, maybe the knife is getting through the tapestry, and he's not getting hit by a few of those. Maybe he'll survive or something. And then it's when you get that reveal.
Yeah, it's also great because one, you can be a little more vicious with the stabbing while saving on budget there, because like you're just not hitting really him. You don't have to worry too much about the logistics and physicality of that if you're just stabbing a tapestry. So I do like that. It becomes more like just more kind of a Friday 13th kind of sleeping bag thing a little bit. And it's really a shocking visual. I do love how morbid it is because he's just a puppet at that point. It's fucked. I love it.
He doesn't even get final words of like run or anything like dramatic. Like it does feel like it's, like I said, it's not doing any like conscious like trope subverting, but that does feel slightly subverting of like normally we would. I mean, yes, he does the selfless act of like buying them time and like giving her the keys to get away, but like while impaled, like I feel like another movie would be like you'd be like run.
It's just more indignified. Like it becomes like, again, he's just waving him around on the huge stick. It's pretty pathetic, and that just makes it just so horrifying and traumatic to me. It's awesome. It's pretty awesome.
My only note for this scene was when the pyre goes right through him, right?
Mhm.
I wanted the blood to splatter on Parker.
Yes,
that's the only thing.
Because she keeps getting closer. So, and especially with horror logic, horror physics, like we can get some blood on her. Then, like, let's do it.
Yeah, and also like COVID, right? Like the spray, right? Like you remember all those graphics of like the mouth and stuff. Like I feel like it could have like leaned into some of that too.
Yes, exactly. I was wondering, like, the exchange of fluids should have been more of a key point here, visually at least, the motif, aesthetically.
Yeah, exactly. It's another hindsight thing, right, Elvis? Right? Like
Yeah.
we're noticing these things because we've been thinking about COVID for so long, and this one was, striking while the iron was hot.
Yes.
But maybe an extra year, and it could have got some of this commentary down perfectly.
Sick 2 coming soon.
Yeah, we should have done it. Damn it. Anyway, so they flee. They're on, and turns out that I think he stole one of their tires, which is fucking hilarious. so they can't go far. They go back into the
I
house.
love that the immediate because it's like they don't get far. The killer immediately catches up to them, throws the rocket at the passenger side, and then they just have to book it back to the cabin.
Yeah.
Like another movie like this could just feel monotonous of oh, we're just going in a circle. But then
Mm.
the action's so well directed, and you're in the moment. You're like, that's what options do they have right now? They have to go back.
Yeah, and they're
Well,
using the
in a
entire
worse
space.
movie, in a worse movie, they would have seen the flat tires and stuff, and they wouldn't have driven. They would have just gotten out of the car, and there wouldn't have been that chase. But it's the fact that they even attempted to do so is what is making this a step above.
Yeah, and I think we mentioned it before with other Scream movies, with the Wes Craven ones, especially the environmental aspect of it, because you're using the entire space, you're using the foreground, we're using the drive, we're using the car. When they get back to the house, they don't go back to the house or the door. Really, they go up to the attic, they go across the fucking roof tiles, all over the upper levels and shelves. It's more, um, exhaustive of its space, and to tell that entire story. So you're not just going back to the house. It's not just repeating itself. We're seeing different areas and making use of them. And I love that a lot.
Yeah, okay,
there's a verticality to it.
Yeah, I said, I love how much we understand the space of this cabin. So it never feels like they're cheating or warping either them or the killer. So this is they go to the attic. This is when Miri tries to make or she falls off the roof, right?
When she falls off the roof, yeah.
I thought first time, I mean, we've quickly realized that she is okay, but first time, because they had already killed DJ, I was like, oh, are we just wiping everyone off the board and it's just going to be the Parker show? Because I was like, oh, maybe we are doing something kind of similar, The Evil Dead, where all his friends get possessed so quickly, and then it's just Ash being tortured for an hour.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But that would have sucked because I do like the continuing adventures of their horrific bodily injuries.
No, yeah, I'm glad she didn't die, because what we get with her is cooler.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But this is
And
also
plus, what else would we have? It would be another situation where it's if she dies, it's what else can we do?
exactly. I do like that it becomes a story about friendship. It's friendship.
Ultimately, this is a movie about family.
It is. That's why it's so powerful. I love you, Carrie Fisher. You're in 3. She's in 3. That's why we're saying this. We're bringing it back to Scream. Bring it
That was a Scream. You thought it was a Star Wars reference? No, it was a Scream reference.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is also where Parker destroys that guy's face. Waste bin.
It's a waste bin, okay? Because it almost looks like at a hotel when you get the thing for ice.
Exactly. I think it's
Yeah.
a waste bin. Let me pull up that scene here. Where is it? Maybe it's a pot. Let me see. It's it's the end of the blender. Oh, see,
Oh,
Right, and they set that up earlier.
because she was making something. She's like, I don't even know what I'm calling it.
Yeah, she's putting random fruit into a blender to make a smoothie. It's great. Great. Again, little touches. And she destroys that guy's face, and then the other one comes in, solidifying that there's 2 of them. So we got a little mid movie Scream reveal of 2 killers.
Yeah, we don't have to wait till the end. We're immediately showing the second one coming. It almost felt like in a video game, you beat the boss and then their health bar regenerates. It's oh, shit.
That does feel in conversation with Scream. See, she kills the one, and we're immediately going to go to the next one. We're not even going to wait until the climax to keep this cat and mouse thing going.
Also, while it's doing the same thing from Scream, where it's that reveal is makes it so the identity is a bigger question. It also in this moment is telling us that pretty much everyone we've met up until this point is not the killer.
Mm-hmm.
We can wipe all of those people off of the board. We know that Miri isn't behind this. We know that DJ isn't behind this.
We know that DJ isn't behind this.
Definitely, right?
No, it was an elaborate stage. They really
he pulled a tiger.
Corn syrup, just like they used in Psycho.
But what I will say is that the double-edged sword of that being the case, where like that the identity isn't about like trying to figure out who it is. At this point, it's like, well, there are only so many pieces of who this could be, and I feel as though it becomes very simple to just be like, well, it has to be about the person that's on the phone.
Right.
Yeah.
And also neatly, the second killer comes in and is like, "No!" Goes to hug the guy on the floor. Like,
So you immediately get that there's, if not familial, that this is like super close, like that these are
very
just
intimate.
like, yeah.
It's personal. This time it's personal.
Like the pig guys from Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
Yeah.
They should have been in this. That was good. Fun.
Those guys were fun. They should have been more in the movie. I would have liked them more if they were.
Or
Yeah.
just other factions of masked, because it's like, oh, if it's hiring like mercenaries, like if we're going by video game logic, like just have infinite number of factions with crazy
Yeah,
like
just make the Warriors, man.
Oh, I was gonna say it. Yeah, exactly. It's like the Warriors. Get like a group of people with baseball bats and their faces painted. It'd be
Literally,
great.
just do the Fury, do the baseball Furies, like do a reference to them. That's fine.
Make them like, I don't know, hockey players or some shit. They wear the same makeup.
Yeah, they're just banging the hockey sticks as the bats menacingly.
Yeah. Anyway,
Hey, he can fuck you up.
while the killer mourns the other killer, and Parker callously doesn't offer condolences and goes off to help Mary out.
How selfish of her.
Yeah, but then she runs away, still implying that she's really selfish because she can't move her to begin with.
Well, I like that bit of like figuring out like, okay, the killer's coming. What are the options? You just have to play dead. Like just do, and the fact that Miri is trying to protest, but there's no time to even have an argument about it. So it's just like, you just got to do it.
At that point, if I were Miri, I would just not even respond to her. I'd just be in dead mode already. I'd be like, yeah, loud and clear, get out of here, you know?
Yeah. But so Parker goes and takes the raft out while Miri really, again, really smoothly starts to make herself a splint, and she has like a buzz saw. It's amazing. What, like, she's intuitive as fuck. And not buzz saw. I say it's like, I think it's a bread thing actually, like one of those bread or electric carvers, because they're in the kitchen.
We should
Anyway,
say we've already seen that, like, since she had the run during the middle of the night, she doesn't have shoes on and she's barefoot. So the whole time, especially during the raft,
yes,
she's like waiting for the knife to go through her foot, but it goes through her hand, right? She doesn't get stabbed in the foot.
no, she doesn't. We should have gotten more of a foot damage, but she makes it to the cabin across the lake. And the owner of that cabin decides to almost shoot her with a shotgun until she's able to like calm down and let him know that she's not like some crazed hippie.
It's saying his daughter's name, like that they went tubing once or something with the daughter. He's like, oh, okay, then you're you're Pamela Adelon's daughter. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember you from Ghost. Ghost is good. Both of them are in Ghost, but Pamela Adlon herself is not.
Interesting.
Interesting.
But I do like this guy. I like that he's like this like rough, like, oh, I got a shotgun, and then like the moment that he trusts her is the moment he turns around and gets his throat slit.
Yeah,
classic slasher logic, whatever. It's great.
Let's call the cops, and then that's it. And then he gets the shotgun.
And I love it, like, even if it breaks the logic of like, oh, so the gun is not a ideology. Like, they're fine with guns. They didn't just bring those. But it just makes it builds to a different kind of chase then, and I really think it's pretty exciting stuff to have. It's like, okay, the killer has a gun now. It's to me better than handled than, because Ghostface gets a shotgun in a bodega, kills one guy, and it's not like even he has this gun for the rest of the movie, but like just this little sequence of him coming after her with the shotgun, I think is pretty thrilling.
Yeah. And so then Parker, she's Miri, she's making her splint, and we start to see, and this is very subtle, but the eyes of the guy start to flutter a little bit. So it's very, very, very subtle shit.
I already referenced Evil Dead, but I'm just now dying with this. Does feel like a Deadite, how Deadites are always playing dead.
Yeah,
because like she looks back multiple times, and then so it does almost feel like an Evil Dead gag of like, I'm not, I'm dead, am I?
Yeah. And it's great because also
with it.
it's also like that once he's out of frame immediately, that's when like he suddenly jumps out. So it's like a kind of a fake sham situation, like almost like a Kansas City switch a little bit with the framing there. It's so good,
Right.
like melee right on her. But even with her leg, she stabs him in the neck and he bleeds out to death.
Poor other son gets no lines, gets his face bashed in.
Does he have a name?
Son.
Dead meat.
Wait a minute. Oh,
'Cause
okay.
Benji's the one who was in the picture, right?
Yeah, Benji. I think his name is Jeb.
Okay, yeah, because there's someone named Jeb in the credits. It should have been Jeb Bush.
I thought he was Tyler, but Tyler, I think it's the guy in the beginning of the movie,
Yeah.
who apparently was the guy from Super 8, the kid from
Mhm.
Super 8. So
Oh,
there's lots of kid actors in this movie, a lot of
Yeah.
child actors.
and let's be fair, right? Like DJ would never be jealous of a Jeb, right? Like if you're cheating on someone with a Jeb, it's not happening.
It's gotta be Benji because he's preppy and
Yeah,
all man.
Jeb's credits though. He looks like he's I mean, it makes sense for a killer in one of these movies to get like an accomplished stunt guy. Like that's all that
Yeah.
this guy is like a stunt person. He was in Babylon. I wonder if he got shitted on by the elephant in Babylon.
Chris Reed. Half of the cast has like nothing on Wikipedia, so that's great. I love that.
Also, on the note of this like killer coming back sequence, like I think that as we've talked about before with like the Evil Dead references, like very clearly this man is dead. Like there's no reason we should believe that he's still alive.
Yeah.
But the fact that he is still alive is fun, and that it makes for a good action sequence. Like this is what you want from a slasher film like this.
It's got tone. It's peppy. Like there's no
Like-
lulls.
Like we are grounded, but there we have bought in enough that you can have those little lapses of logic where it's like, yes, he was very, very dead, but also it's more fun if he wasn't, and because
Exactly.
so we can have this little scene.
This is just here so that we can keep the energy up. Otherwise, it would just be, them
Be boring.
rating. Yeah,
It would just be chasing with because like let's break it down. There's not a lot of kill. Like there's the guy in the cold open, there's the other son, and then DJ.
DJ.
And then the father. I mean, the family gets killed, but it's like they're not. None of the other like people get killed.
exactly. So
Mhm.
it don't have to pace things out a bit. Again, borderline competency, but it's nice to see done. It's nice to see done.
For sure.
And I don't know. I remember seeing like Plow in a cornfield the other day. I'm like, this is boring. If
I'm glad I'm not the only one who felt that way.
Okay, because people were hyping that up.
I know, right? Like it's
They're called liars.
so they're called. We're too American to watch Hot Fuzz. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, fair.
Oh, they just do that. It's literally just the.
You mentioned, yeah. You asked me, like, yeah, Clown and Cornfield. You said, like, what flash are you talking about? And like, yeah, it's just Hot Fuzz. They even rip off the speech, like almost line for line.
The great, the good.
It's a great. Oh, we have to do this to protect the community from you wild hippies. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Crusty
also, like-
jugglers.
It's also like too much of a riff on the Town That Dreaded Sundown, the original film, and like it just doesn't really like it's made by the same people who made Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Oh, and that's
it's
fun.
but it's lacking any of the real comedic charm that they are known for that film. Like it's far more just a straight up slasher, which is very disappointing.
Yeah, if you take the humor away from Tucker and Dale, that movie sucks. Right? There's nothing to the movie.
You try, like it's trying to be funny, but it's also based on a book, and the book has like 5 sequels. I'm like, this is just. I can tell this is not going anywhere good.
Mhm.
Like,
What was the next one? Frankenstein in a farmhouse? Like
no,
what are we gonna do?
they're all about Friendo, the clown. I'm like, and the
Of course.
latest one is called Lights Action Friendo, and it's about the making a Friendo movie. Like,
Oh God,
are-
Scream 3.
and like, what the fuck?
No, what you do is you cast Tyler Labine, you give him a scythe, and then he walks up and he says, "You guys going camping?" And he laughs earnestly, and then that's a good movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Reaper, he's so good in Reaper.
Yeah, let's reboot Reaper.
Let's bring it back. Anyway,
Kevin
so
Smith, do it.
Okay, we're bringing it back.
we're bringing it back. So this is the trailer bit. Everyone was like, "Why are they making a slasher movie about COVID?" This trailer bit, I think, got most people I noticed who watched the trailer on board, because it's so pointedly stupid that like, okay, this is not trying to be like a sappy or overly emotionally manipulative thing like a lot of other COVID stuff was at the time. Everyone got really tired of really quickly about that kind of stuff. Some well intentioned, some not very. Because she gets away from the second killer, she knocks him out in the middle of the road, and she meets Jane Addams.
Hell yeah.
Who is very, she's very cute. Okay, very cute still. Okay,
MVP of the movie in my
yeah,
books.
right. Yeah, she is like she's like giving it. Okay, she's like, I'm sorry. They you know what she did? They should just. I know they didn't want to probably do too many comparisons, even though they're ripping off Scream 2 immediately. They shouldn't have Dylan McDermott. They should have made it fucking Richie's mom again. Okay, and brought Jane Addams there. Like that's the kind of performance that character needed. Not Dylan McDermott going, oh my god, sorry, Dermot Mulroney going like, oh, I just love killing. You need Jane Addams because she
because
got
the
that
fact that she doesn't even have to pretend to be normal for very long. Because, and let's say, like, she's not even really playing normal at any point, because even if she's just pulling over in the car, it's already ridiculous. Of like, there's a masked guy on the road coming. She's like, "Do you have a mask?
Where's your mask?"
It's perfect because like it's not just that she's being like in quotations annoying about the mask, right? Because like so many people in that time and even now would be like, oh, whatever, put on the mask, whatever. But at the same time, like obviously situationally, there's a guy in the road. This woman's covered in blood. Like you've got a car, right? Like I don't care like what the CDC is saying at that point, like this woman needs your help and you got to help her, right? So like that all of that stuff when it's happening, I already know in the back of my mind she's complicit in this.
Exactly.
I know that that's coming. So instead of in that moment thinking to myself, why is this lady being so stupid? I'm thinking to myself like, no, this is all a part of the plan. And this is actually like a really funny way to elongate it. And Jane Addams is having so much fun playing that kind of character.
She's like just really, she's great at those kinds of like reflexive, self-aware, eccentric kind of roles. She excels in those kinds of things. Like I don't know, like the straight-laced Kate Micucci type, honestly, in her day.
Yeah, that's true. And let's say this is like a year before Scream 6. They did 3 killers before Scream ever did it.
Yeah,
Fucking cowards.
That's true. They did.
I always remember Jane Addams from Eternal Sunshine specifically because she was the character that told Jim Carrey about Clementine. And I feel like she does have that kind of like, like she can be grounded. She can like, tell it to you straight. But then there is like a kind of sardonic wit to her. There's a bit of a shiftiness in her eyes to where you can't trust her just entirely. So I think that she's like kind of the perfect character actor that you could hire for this kind of role.
And you can buy that Albert from Twin Peaks would want to go on a date with her, and then when they do, it's really sweet. It's great.
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? She got big eyes. That's the little Purnell eyes.
Well, it's just that like the way Miguel Ferrer plays it is like this guy hates everybody. But it's like, oh, how could you not fall for her?
Yeah.
And then
I also like the husband, the way that he's like reading out all of the hashtags when we get later on. Like
that
he's
part
so
is
good.
Great. Yeah,
he's fantastic. And we'll get to him in just a moment. But he's amazing. He's a mensch. So let's see. And then just again, perfect trailer moment. Everyone loves it, and everyone called it immediately in the trailer. Like, why is she like there's so many people like she's probably the killer because why else would you be that fucking obtuse? But yeah, it turns out that there's chloroform in the mask, and Parker gets knocked out. Everyone still thinks that Mary's dead, so she's so she's still sort of rolling around in the background. And I gotta say, does a router show if you're using it?
I was like, the lights blinking usually means like
it's on.
It's on, or if it's changing color, then something's wrong. But otherwise, it's just
how it is.
Just that, yeah, it's on and it's transferring data or whatever. That's the default state.
Yeah. So I've got like
a router being used is like a router is. Sorry, Elvis, go ahead. Sorry.
So it's got like a technician or something. You have an inner life.
That's how he knows
like,
how to get in all the houses, because he installs internet.
it's fair. The thing with routers is that like they're technically always on, right?
Mhm.
They're always searching for a signal. So it's like while he's right, like the router is doing something, but it's like, yeah, but like routers are always doing something.
Exactly.
Like,
So
like why is that? Yeah.
He should have been like, it's just a solid green and it's not blinking. Something's wrong.
I think
Exactly. Yeah.
we can just sort of chalk it up to Williamson being like a 60-year-old man. He's like a 60-year-old
Routers,
man.
they're crazy.
It's the
Cloud,
internet.
what's up with that?
We have to
Is that
remember,
how high do I have to fly to get to the cloud?
we have to remember that Scream 2, he wrote Scream 2, and there's a scene where someone has to convince someone else what email is. Um, so
Amazing.
he's that old. I can give him a pass for this, but not the other stuff. He deserves to burn
Because
in
he
hell.
always writes teens, it's easy. I always like imagine him as younger. But like, yeah, no, this is an older guy.
So he thinks they're magical, and we gotta give him that space to think that they're magical. But yes, immediately while Parker is knocked out, the family give her a COVID test, which is really, it's all bloody too. I don't think that's a valid test at that point. You have to get other fluids on it.
Not
And
gonna
the
get a good
fact
reading.
and the fact that he keep like that scene is great because the whole time they're taking the time to monologue while they wait for the results, but then the fact that the husband is like, show her because when she's denying that she has it, like that he keeps getting worked up about it. So like
Yeah, he becomes petulant.
it's like a ticking clock, the test.
Exactly. But I do like that moment, like show her, because it just becomes so raw. Like he sounds so wounded. And it's like
They
it's great.
need her to admit it. Like
He's
it's
like,
like it's can't it's like because more so than the other victims of
closure.
that does at least explain a little bit of like why draw it out with her. Although they already were doing cat and mouse stuff with the guy in the cold open, but at least with her, it make it like, okay, this is the most personal victim, and then everyone else there are just it's they wrong place, wrong time. Because she even asked that, like, what about my friends? They weren't at that party. And it's like, yeah, well, you brought them here.
And just said something like, "Well, they're gonna get infected anyway, because you're gonna infect them."
Yeah. Yeah, and I like that she actually is positive. Like it does like I don't like obviously the son is at fault for going to a party and not masking or taking any precautions, but like that it's like no, that she did have it. Like
Yeah.
people being asymptomatic, it was 100% a thing.
My cousin of mine was asymptomatic. Yeah. But
I think if anything, what this underlines is that like it's good because we are now having Parker be complicit in some way. Like they could have been more considerate with their actions. One thing I would have liked to have seen is like I feel like Miri's been sidelined a lot throughout this film.
yes,
I feel like there needed to be some kind of rectifying with that. That Parker had COVID and decided to bring
has.
Miri with her. Has COVID, I should say. Yes.
Yes.
It brought Miri to a cabin alone with her in close space, right? Like,
And now
there
Miri
is
can't go because she keeps bringing up her dad like her dad is like
He's
high
in-
risk
Yep.
or something. So
Yeah,
it's like
immunocompromised
exactly.
in some way.
she'd be like, I can't go see my father now because you probably gave me COVID.
Yeah, and also like who knows, like if if she's gonna make it. This is before like vaccines or anything like that. So Miri's
She should start coughing at the end.
exactly. But yeah, Mary might not make it too. If it does, I think that's a wrinkle that kind of helps give the ending a little edge. Because they made it through this, but COVID still exists. They're still far out
No,
from a vaccine,
no vaccines.
For sure.
Yeah.
and Mary very likely has it because they're like hugging and like helping each other up and all that shit.
They don't even know if Tenet's getting a theatrical release at this point. Things are
Yeah.
dire.
Sonic is the
They're
last
still
movie.
wiping down their groceries. Like,
Yeah.
People are still pretending that Sonic was a good movie.
Oh yeah.
they hadn't
People-
seen Sonic
people-
3 yet.
People are still doing that. Yeah,
Like-
yeah. I'm not falling for it again because I've had those same people be like, no, but 3's like actually good. No,
And,
like,
like,
oh, okay.
3 has like one good scene and that's it. And it's the one where they're
What is it, the
dancing.
laser? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen that one, so I saw the good part.
Yeah, they're dancing like, oh yeah, Jim Carrey can still move. That's good.
Mhm. Well, actually, from what I understand, a lot of that was done with stunt doubles. Like they put
then
a CGI.
kill
like,
Jim
on his face.
Carrey.
Yeah,
It's all bullshit. We don't need him anymore.
Exactly. First, he was an asshole to Danny DeVito, and now this.
Then he was anti-vax.
Yeah,
It's all connected.
his worst crimes.
He should have been in this movie.
Given this movie,
And him as the killer just being like, well, you're in a strange predicament. Like, it'd be great.
But yeah, no, I do like how raw and wounded they are interrogating Parker, and the dad is fantastic because like he's like this a rampage trying to kill people, but when you get up close to him, he's just a sad puppy dog who needs to lean his face into his wife's neck and cry a little bit.
They've lost both sons now. Like one to COVID and another one because they may do this. Like it's like their fault that the other one's dead.
Exactly, it is their fault. And like he has to hold him. Like the scene, like he's holding him up, and he's like, it's a great little character. Again, not fully defined or sketched out, but I do love the touches. They give a little bit life to it.
It's the classic archetype of like the slightly conservative dude that kind of like isn't in touch with their emotions at all and just kind of like, oh, I let my wife handle that shit, and like in her position, she runs that shit like a Navy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But it just so happens that she's like a murderous person, and he doesn't need that much of a push to get to that place too. So it's like,
you can tell that this is all her idea. Like the son. Well, we know nothing about Jeb, but I assume he's not an ideas guy.
I do love how there's no one in that party clip. It's so good. Every time they say like, look at this video, and there's no one there.
There's 200 people like off screen, just off screen.
It's that Nathan Fielder post.
All my friends smiling and laughing off screen.
Listening to Erasure. We're 2020s millennials. Fantastic.
Yeah, it'd be funny if it was a party of two people.
It was just Miri making out with somebody else. Like it was just the two of them making out with two guys. Like that's the party.
But yeah, no, I think Jane Adams, maybe she's like a nurse or something. I don't know. She seems pretty up to it.
Sick 2 should be in a hospital.
Exactly. It should be.
Like Halloween 2.
Like Dr. Giggles.
That's a movie.
A doctor should be the killer next time.
Fauci?
Yeah, oh my God, he did it.
The next movie could be called Sick to Ouchie Fauci.
Fauci's Revenge. Anyway, so Mary this tries to do well, is this a would you call this a Scream reference? You trying to Skype 911?
Nah.
I mean, she does she tries to email 911 in one, right? Like
exactly.
It could be a callback, but I do wish that this was Miri had a little more. She does get a cool moment late, like in a few minutes when they take out, like when they kind of double team the husband, but like it's like this is the best that we can give her to do is that she keeps like trying to email people.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes sense from a logic standpoint of like you're just trying to problem solve. Like we need help. How are you going to get it?
I think that the worst problem with this film is that it's a movie about how Parker is inconsiderate, and it should have phrased that entire conflict around Miri. It should have been about like obviously she's inconsiderate to all these other characters, but there should have been like something that her and Miri were struggling with while they were at this cottage.
Exactly.
And it took this night to get over it. But it's the fact that like Miri and her are so in sync and with no issues throughout this entire time. It leaves it so when we get to the end, it feels like okay, they just survived this crazy thing rather than the script is changing.
The only friction was her and DJ. Like they're like her and Miri had, other than Miri being like Parker, you're always pushing people away. But like, yeah, if there had been like this kind of tension between them, or like a thing where maybe she's always putting Miri's needs to the side, it even works as like a sly little meta commentary of how the black characters are always side. Even in this own franchise where Sydney's roommate, who I cannot remember her name too, is just like not a character.
Robin something, I think. Or
I think her name is Black Roommate.
Number one.
Not a Scream movie. Anyway, but no, yeah, no, I definitely think that the dad thing needed a button. I think the dad thing, getting a little bit of an epilogue or the demon on that would have, held that together a lot stronger. Because that is their point. Like, I can't get sick, and she's doing everything to not get sick. Maybe she does, and then maybe there's like a little bit of a beat about it. Maybe a little time skip and epilogue ending where she's like in bed sick and Parker has to take care of her.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a little something.
Or if you want to go dark, go straight to Parker at Miri's grave. You're like, oh shit.
Oh, geez.
They died of COVID. Yeah.
It's Miri. She's in the hospital, and Dr. Robbie is crying because he just couldn't do anything more.
She was the one who shit. It was the same day his mentor died.
Yeah, Miri is like in intubated. Yeah, remember those things when Liam Musk said he had a bunch of them and they weren't real? Crazy.
Yes, that's right. He was wasn't he saying he was going to make a bunch of them and then like sell them to hospitals, so he just never delivered?
Exactly. He bought like apparently some were delivered, but they're like really old, not functioning ones or some shit.
Oh,
I mean,
man,
has he
early
ever?
COVID was crazy.
Has he ever made anything that was function? Has he ever delivered on anything ever?
No.
I think he
Never.
delivered a flamethrower at one point, and some people said that worked.
I should have gone when I had the chance. It's like the only thing, yeah, that sounds cool.
I still
Works
see
better
people
than a
drive
Tesla.
Cybertrucks. It's crazy that
It's
you
like
willingly.
there's like 2 around my neighborhood, but never get driven. I always just see
But
them.
there is a business that will take Cybertrucks and like redesign the outside of it so it's
Nice.
not obvious you're wearing. Like the fact that that's like in industry, that people are like, yeah, I don't want people knowing I paid money for this.
Unfortunately, I see a lot of Cybertrucks around here. I don't know why, but like Toronto people are really into Tesla. But you can see that people are kind of doing that same thing, Doug, where they're ashamed of it. And like I've seen hot pink Cybertrucks. I've seen turquoise Cybertrucks. It's really strange.
I've seen the gates of Orion cascade off the moons of Saturn. Whatever he says.
All of it will be tears and rain.
Exactly. But I do love that they like, I don't love it. I don't want to say it that way, but I do love the brutality and cruelty of the touch where they keep putting a plastic bag over Parker's face and saying like, yeah, it doesn't feel good not knowing when you can breathe. And like, okay, that's like a great sadistic touch about like COVID. And
but like we kept saying, it would almost be more fun if she was a complete asshole.
Exactly.
Because then I'd be like, yeah, Parker, how's it feel?
How's it feel, Parker? But
Does she ever complain about being able to breathe with her mask?
Yeah, just have her do one line of that. Like that's really all you need. It's like, oh, it's so hard to breathe in these.
No, she doesn't. The most she does is one wear a mask. Like, you have to wear that outside because again, that was a common thing where like you're like, you don't have to wear it outside because the droplets don't work outside.
Travel, yeah.
And
air doesn't travel outside, as we all know.
Exactly, but that's a common refrain people used to say, and Miri's like, no, that's not true. They hang in the air for like 8 minutes or something. So I definitely think that Miri is pre-med.
Exactly. Yes. And to just echo what you were saying there about the plastic bag, I think the plastic bag works really well, and I do agree that maybe they could have gone a bit further with it or whatever. But I do think that like it's one of those things that like you're writing a COVID horror movie, right? And you're thinking about the ways in which people could be like hurt or maimed around this theme. I think this is like probably the best like incorporation between themes and methodology. Like all of this is very clean.
Yes.
The only thing that could have topped it is like a nose kill, like some like sticking something through someone's nose. Yeah, that would have been ideal.
Yeah, and I do love the part where the dad is getting up close, trying to like really getting physically domineering over Parker, and Jane Addams is like, your mask. Don't forget your mask. Like, she's just like, oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, how flustered is like, yeah, he's clearly they're maybe not used to having following these guidelines.
Exactly.
They just started doing this.
It'd be kind of funny if they were like hardcore, like "Don't step on me, Republicans," and then that whole refrain, like "You don't care about until it happens to you," and like, damn it, like
Now it is super important to them.
exactly.
I already kind of get that impression from them, Elvis, and I'm glad that you brought that up, right? Because that's kind of the thing that I get the feeling from is like they're making this so personal because it happened to them rather than any kind of like if their son didn't
Moral.
die, like it's not like they would go after them in the same kind of way because their son went to the party. They would have just gotten mad at the son or whatever, right? So it's like clearly this was the thing that made their minds break. This was the thing that like made them like pushed over the edge. And hey, we're talking about COVID. A lot of people's minds did break. So I think all of this does make sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's my personal headcanon for it, but it would have made it, I think, a lot more stronger impact if they kind of put the point on it. And
Right,
just go
because we filled in so many things that like give these characters color, but the movie's giving us very little in that. I mean, there's hints. I think there's more of a hint to that at least than like stuff about. Well, I guess it's also there of Miri being a pre-med, but yeah, I wish like some of that stuff was more underlined.
Sure. And like the only thing I'll say, like on the rebuttal on that, right, is like, a lot of these kinds of slasher movies, right? Like we talk about like these ideas that are hanging around, but like they just don't come together. And it's so like we're kind of disappointed about those things. The
Mhm,
fact that we can see these threads, and even if they're not fully filled in, we can
mhm.
kind of see what they're going for. And it does feel at least baseline consistent. That's more than you can say them for most movies. So it's like, that's why I think that like all of us genuinely are more lenient to this film and films that are like this where they can at least be baseline consistently competent to the point where the greater ideas that it could be getting at, even if they're kept a little vaguer, if all of the pieces are in the right place and we're getting that kind of vibe, then the rest of the job can be kind of done for itself.
I agree. Like we're not. This
Yeah.
movie has ideas. We're not saying that it fumbles the ideas. We're just saying it doesn't take those ideas further.
And sometimes it just feels like intentionally so because it's like there is the limits of that it doesn't have any hindsight, but then also that it is maybe slightly pulling its punches. But I again like I that is maybe a little bit of cowardice on the writing, but then the direction just makes up for it. Like
Yeah.
really for me.
It's not cowardice in like a way that's too harmful at its most basic, like three. Like, come on,
It
three. I
it
think
it doesn't
Yeah.
negate itself because
exactly,
like three's cowardice is more like what okay, so the point you're making is nothing now.
exactly. You just agree. You just agree with what the theme you're going against is. You just agree that
You said she's a fucking slut. Like what are we saying here?
yeah,
I'll go a step further and say that it's not even cowardice. I'll say it's opportunism, right? Like this is like they're at this Peacock's trying to make their new slate, right?
Mhm.
Everything just got upended because of COVID, right? And then they're like, well, maybe we should make a COVID horror movie, right? Like that's an easy sell, right?
Mhm.
And like sick is like I don't know how this movie was produced. Maybe it was an independently produced thing. Who knows, right? But I'm just saying like they're trying to pad the deck a bit, and also this is a movie where it's like this came out like 2 years after the pandemic hit, likely was made pretty quickly. Like chances are this was like a very opportunistic film, and a lot of the shortcomings that it has aren't so much born out of the filmmakers not being talented, but because like they were rushing to meet that deadline.
I
Exactly.
mean, it's a Blumhouse movie, so rushed and opportunistic feel very,
I forgot that it's a Blumhouse movie because trust me, Blumhouse movies suck so much ass, man.
like when was the last good one?
I would
Well,
say the Christopher Abbott scenes of Wolfman, and that's it.
I still
hey,
haven't
I'll
seen
take
that one,
that.
man. It seemed rough, but I love him.
He's great in it.
I do have to say though quickly though, like I do think this movie was picked up by Blumhouse after the fact because like I did get a reply from somebody on Twitter who said something to that effect. So like I do think that this was made more so for Peacock, and then like the Blumhouse like logo is something that's owned by Peacock. That's probably something that they were doing
Well,
after
they
the
have
fact
some
kind of thing.
kind of connection because like that was also like the Halloween David Gordon Green Halloweens were like day and
Right.
date. Like it was like, oh, it's also on Peacock.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you're right in the money with that. Um, but let's go back here. So Parker, let's see. Well, no, Miri. Sorry, Miri. Everyone thinks she's dead, and like, wait a minute. Like, if she really did go check, and then off screen, you hear the dad going, "Damn it!" And Miri's like,
It's funny.
like, of course, she's alive. Damn, and they knock her out, push her through the fucking the screen glass window. It's fucking fantastic. Um, and I don't know. The dad gives chase, and they fucking impale him on the antlers that DJ dropped way back in the 40 minutes ago. It's phenomenal stuff, man.
I like that, like all of the things that we've talked about up until this like final climactic kills of their killers. The kills of the killers themselves are so quick. Like
Yeah.
usually in
Yeah.
like a Scream movie, right? Like how long do we get with the killers? We get like 10-minute chase. We get another 15-minute chase. Like Scream 6 feels like it goes on for 20 minutes,
I
right?
think it does.
Like so it's like the fact that this is like 5 minutes, the fact that that's how fast it takes for us to dispatch of our killers, it's a breath of fresh air. We don't need to have them chase this long. We don't care about it. And frankly, it comes down to the iconography thing again. Doesn't have to be like about lineage conversations. You know, there doesn't have to be like, oh, you know, we've laid out our plans and now let's drilled into what this means for the whole series. Instead, this is just like, my name is so and so, prepare to die. You know,
And then they get killed. Like, and it's not just that they get put. Like, I love bringing back all of the objects in the cabin because you have like the antlers from like the thing hanging on the wall that he gets impaled on, but also that little like, what was it, like a meat grinder or like a meat cutter thing that they
little
Mary-
tenderizer.
yeah, that she uses
Yeah.
on his leg, and then she gets sprayed in. He gets sprayed in the face by Pamela Anderson's daughter, by Parker. But it, like the spray they were using, like during the dance, it's like, oh, it's all coming back.
Exactly. Like even the antler thing, that's something that DJ dropped. So he got revenge. Yeah, DJ's revenge.
R.I.P. DJ.
That's the sequel.
It's you don't see his body. He's crawled away. After that.
Yeah, and then he masked up. He's like, "You left me to die, Parker."
We'll work it out on the remix.
Working on the remix. Anyway, so I actually went back and looked at from first seeing Jane Addams to Jane Addams dying is like 15 minutes.
Man, gotta love
That's perfect.
how economical this movie is, and
Yeah.
also her death rules. just her
it's,
being lit on fire.
It's just they just spray her some random shit, and they have a ignition igniter, and then that's it. That's it. My only note is that they should have brought Razor back. They should have brought that song back. It's this little motif they've had going. It should have played over the credits.
Oh, sure.
I think that makes sense.
And yeah, what we saw again, it's their friendship. It's like the Miri's and Parker's friendship mirrors their friendship, the lyrics. So
How brisk the second half is kind of reminds me of like the second half of Strangers Pray at Night, where it's like,
yes,
they're just getting
Yeah.
chased and then they fight back, and then the killer's deaths are just like so quick. Well, other than the final guy who keeps getting like seemingly fatal wounds and gets back, like he's like in a zombie, like we're like, oh my god, like even when he gets lit on fire, you're like,
the car is on fire. It's
like
fantastic.
I don't even know if the fire's killing him.
What a remarkable movie that is. I can't wait for the whole bloody affair of the reboot trilogy.
Oh, you know what? I hate all of the Strangers movies except for that one. You know, Pray at Night. I thought that Pray at Night was fine. You know, I think that like there are amazing sequences. Like the
Yeah.
pool sequence is one of
Yeah.
the best sequences in modern horror in my
It-
eyes.
And then the visual of the car on fire. I mean, that's basically like Christine they're doing,
Yeah.
but it still looks.
Yep.
Anytime you do a Christine callback, I'm gonna be into it.
Exactly.
Sure.
Me too.
Mhm.
But I just can't imagine that the original vision for the reboot could be worse than the first one, because the first one is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Oh, so
The-
you
the
haven't
only
seen any
thing-
of the new trilogy, the Rennie Harlan trilogy? 'Cause
I
it's
had
fucking
I'm
gone.
waiting. I was waiting until all three of them came out, and
The
then
third one's in theaters, right?
exactly. But then I heard that they're playing a director's cut of all
Oh
three of them
God.
mashed together.
Because do you know what the story is behind those movies?
No, but there's like lore to the okay. So the first one, isn't it kind of like doing the first movie, but
No,
if
no,
the
no.
girl
Hold on.
lives?
No. We're
It
getting
means
too
background.
involved right now. we're getting too involved right now. I gotta zoom out a little bit. So what they did when they made these movies is that they're not planned as 3 separate movies, but rather as like individual acts in one total movie. So that's the main reason why I haven't seen these movies either, right? Because explicitly they have said like each of these aren't really complete films.
It was one
These are
script.
just like the acts. Exactly.
And one guy wrote run script. It was like really long. Like, let's just split them into 3 movies. So they did take each act into one movie.
So it's like stupid to me. That's so stupid.
And so that's why
I don't know. Richard Brake's in them, so maybe I gotta watch.
That's why I was going. I thought it was the way until all 3 came out. But then they said like actually there's a director's cut that cuts out all the fat and puts them back into like the order they were in the script. Apparently some guy's seen it already. And I'm waiting till that then. So who knows if that ever gets released? I might never see these movies. If it never gets released, but hopefully it does. I do want to see it.
I would watch that. I would watch a director's cut of all of that hours. If it was a director's cut that got all 3 of those movies down to like 3 hours long, I'd be happy.
Yeah, that's what they said. Someone, if you look it up, someone said it's 3 hours long. The director's cut.
Oh, I just pulled that out of my ass, so that's good to hear.
Yeah, I think the guy from Juror Number 2 that Nicholas Hoult has to decide if he wants to sell down the river is like one of the mass killers. And Nicholas Hoult should come back in it. It's like I don't know.
You're right. He is.
Is the bag face guy? Should I let him go to jail in my place?
I've seen the trailer. I've seen the trailers for them at least, and yeah, you're right. It is him. It is the guy from Juror Number 2.
What if it wasn't a deer?
Exactly. Anyway, I do love that that you're saying that the killer's deaths are really quick, and they are because they grapple with Jane Addams and then just fucking light her on fire, like just like that. It's really quick. But then there's that amazing, fun little quirky shot of just following her running down the street for like 30 seconds, or it's so fucking good.
They didn't have to do that, but they did, and that's like again one of those little things that like puts this like a step above.
Yeah, cause it's a fun little shot. It's good. It gives it flair. It's nice flair. It's nice attitude to the visuals. It's so fucking good.
I think there's an unspoken rule in horror movies, right? Where like the amount of suffering the killer gets at the end of the film should be proportionate to the amount of cruelty that they have inflicted. And oftentimes like your lesser feelings towards any horror film can be directly tied to how quickly that's dispatched. Like think about all the Scream movies we've watched, right? Like you get to the killer, they take off the mask, they chase them around a bit, and then they get shot. Right, what would be better would be like, okay, now we're taking off your leg, then we're taking off your arm, and then your head. Like that's what audiences at some point want. There needs to be an escalation of the cruelty that they had inflicted upon everybody else. Think about fucking weapons. The kids running after her, right? Like that's what all of this is, right?
You're right, and I think the only ones in Scream that get to that are Billy and Stu because they do it to themselves.
Exactly.
It's so good that they just fucking murder each
and
other.
Jill like brutalizes herself too, so like that one's like also kind of touching on that.
Yeah. But yeah, I and then that's pretty much it. The cops arrive, and Miri is totally gonna die of COVID. She just is. Because now they're like, she's like, I gotta be aware, I'm gotta be protective, and now she doesn't have a mask. She hasn't had a mask like halfway through the movie. She hasn't had a mask.
Like just have her cough, or she just collapses in that shot where it's zooming out and the cops are arriving. If she just falls to the ground, you're like, oh fuck.
Doug, if the movie ended like that, I would have given it an entire star more of a rating. That's like an amazing ending right there.
Because I remember like people saying the Glass Onion should end like that too. People said, because it's true because they're like, oh man, we're here without COVID because Miles Braun has like a magical cure, but like no, he doesn't. He's a dumbass. So they should have all gotten COVID. They should have been ending where they started coughing or some shit.
Benoit Blanc dies of COVID.
It appears I've got a rasp in my throat.
Yeah, that's where it ends, and I don't know. I love it. I think it's fun. And actually, the credits begin at the hour 17 mark. So 77 minutes, man. This is an economic ass movie.
Love that.
Makes it very easy to recommend too.
Yeah, exactly. It's a quick.
It's not going to waste your time.
It's a fun house.
Fun action. Like it's like, yeah. What else do you want from a slasher? And like stuff that I likely not to be getting from Scream ever again.
Anyway, right? But it's like Tony said, it's a fun house. He likes to say that a lot, and I agree about this because
Yeah.
you have the central location. They make complete use of it. There's lots of ingenuity and creativity on display, and the set pieces keep rolling into each other. It's I think it does pick a topic that's too unwieldy for itself, but at least it doesn't do anything too dumb with it. It doesn't do anything that like, oh, we can't recommend this because this is like, oh, I didn't remember
Well,
this
it's almost like it's playing it safe because it knows it doesn't have enough
bandwidth
like
to it.
yeah, it's like, okay, we just don't know yet, so I guess we've just got to hold our guns.
Exactly. There's no like that meme where remember that you see that meme image of like the woman going, "I didn't know Ace Ventura was this racist and transphobic."
Well, because I've seen that complaint against the movie where they're saying that they're making fun of like people who are being cautious about COVID. I'm like, if the movie was taking that stance, I don't think the killers would have any legitimate like grievance, because the fact that she is positive and their son did die from going to that part, like those are factual things. So like, if the movie wanted to negate like that concern, like it wouldn't have those elements.
Exactly.
You're asking just like a bit more from this movie, and I think that that's totally fair,
A
right?
little bit
Like
more, yeah.
the when it comes to the comparison, Elvis, of the Funhouse, right?
Mhm.
There's something that I've always wanted to do, which is like I want to find like what the median Funhouse movie is, right?
Mhm.
Not the one that's like the best, not the one that's the worst, but the one that's just like passable enough on all fronts to where it's just fine, right? And like if I don't have that answer just yet, but
Mhm.
like if I'm on that scale between like does it pass that sniff test of a good time? I feel like Sick is just like totally well within like it's a good time. It goes down easy.
Yeah.
You're not going to like be hung up on many of these things too much. Like the reason we are is because we're podcasting and we're joking around about it, But
Yeah.
most people who are going to watch this, they're going to watch it. It's going to go in one ear out the other, one eye out the other, and they're going to have a good time. There's a reason why this has a really good reputation, but you don't have people sharing clips from this movie. It only exists within people's memory of having a good time with it, rather than being iconographic. Sorry,
Iconographic.
iconographic. Yeah, I
Arch-
was tripping up a little because I didn't drink some water. But yeah, when it comes to like all of this stuff, it's not hung up on the same things like most slashers are. It's not something that's going to be focused on doing a legacy or a reboot. It's not trying to cash in on something that's popular in a superficial sense. It's speaking to the times, which most of the best horror films do. So whether or not it's going to be something that like you really vibe with, I think comes down to how that moment spoke to you, as well as how willing you are to let some of these problems in quotations slide.
I completely agree. And you're completely right. Like, I don't think there's gonna be like a real diehards for this, but I think that if anyone were to like really hand on it to the degree, I'd be like, I would push back a bit, because it is just.
I mean, you're saying we're not sharing scenes, but for some reason, I do have the DJ death scene saved on my hard drive. So that's like, I must have shared that clip at some point.
Share it again.
That's you're going to start it. That's what I'm saying.
Share it again. Like, remember fucking Sick? How about you watch that instead of Scream 7?
Yeah. Just post about Sick next weekend.
No, what we should do is we should just talk about a different movie next weekend. We say we're going to talk about Scream 7, and then we just like, and here's our discussion for Extra.
Let's do a scary movie.
Let's just do another John Hyams thing. Oh, he did the Smashing Machine documentary, not the the Safdie one, but the actual documentary.
That's cool.
You mean the one that Safdie copied?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen either one, but I'm sure that's what happened, right?
I haven't seen the documentary, but from people who have seen it, they said that like literally the movie itself is a shot-for-shot remake of the documentary in many instances.
Well, if it's
really
not
funny.
a shot-for-shot, it's usually just the thing of like, oh, well, the documentary is way better. Like, especially like when I found out the true story of like what was that Zemeckis Steve Carell movie, Welcome to Marwin?
Yes,
I'm
crazy
like,
story.
The real guy sounds so way much more fascinating than this bullshit toy movie.
They should have done that with Hitman. I would watch a documentary about that guy than that fucking movie.
Okay, well that movie's
hey, come
fun,
on.
but like I get
Oh.
what you're saying that's not his story. Like they pretty much just took the basic idea of a teacher pretending to be a hitman and then
I-
like did a
Society has moved past Glenn Powell, so I can say
They-
this freely now.
Well, that's the best
Mask
part
off.
of him.
No.
I think the problem with Glenn Powell is that he's trying there's too many safe choices. Like he's doing like very cliche, like, oh, I'm a leading man. These are I should be in the new Running Man. When it's like that's not your persona,
The
man.
new Running Man should be more racist.
I need to push back against the Hitman slander just a little bit because I do
Hitman's
think that
fun.
movie was great. I think that's also like a great American film. I think it's going to be remembered really well.
I don't like it at all.
I think it makes for a great double feature with David Fincher's The Killer, and I think it also is in the same vein as like American Psycho, and it's actually far more grim than the tone it's leading on is, and it's actually
because they kill a cop and then they get the traditional like rom-com happy ending, and I fucking love that.
I want to see like that. I'd watch a Coen Brothers movie or something. I'd watch Burn After Reading.
I would say that like there are Coen Brothers movies that are worse than Hitman. Like Hitman is like a movie that could rank alongside some of those better Coen Brothers movies in my eyes. It's one of the better Richard Linklater movies.
I just don't. I think Arjona is not a good actress.
Oh, have you seen Splitsville?
Oh,
I haven't seen it yet, but I might.
So, and you also think you think she's bad in Andor?
I think that she's overrated in Andor. I think.
I mean, there's legitimate complaints you could say about how that show writes some of the female characters, but I don't think she's under delivering. Like, I don't know.
Elvis, you're going down a path I can't follow.
You were my brother, Anakin. Anyway, enough about movies that we're never going to agree on. We all agree that Sick is sick.
Yeah,
sick is sick. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Maybe if we do any kind of bait and switch, we should totally just do a scary movie.
Yeah.
When is the new one coming out?
Next week. Next week.
No, but like for real, a scary movie 6, is that going to be or 7? Which one are they on?
I think 6, right?
Scream 6, yeah. So that's just almost as much as Scream. That's kind of crazy that they kind of call each other like that. So yeah, when does that come out? Comes out this year.
It just says 2020.
June.
Okay.
Oh, that's soon. I guess before we go, like we should talk a bit about like the lead up to Scary Movie 7 a bit, right?
Yeah,
like because like not let's not like do all of it, right? But like I feel like there's a weird feeling in the air, and we should just comment about like being in this time right now versus what it's going to be like on opening weekend. I'm seeing like a lot of like propaganda for Scream 7, like a lot of people who are just like trying to will this into being a hit.
Oh my god,
people, like trying to say that it's going to make like $50 to $70 million. I'm like, what is happening right now?
Like I have no idea that Scream of all things. I know Scream itself, Scream movie, as we all mentioned, watershed, masterpiece, important film in horror and American, history.
But those people posting about it almost don't even really care about that movie.
Exactly.
Like it's not about that.
So it's like. And I know that that's a famous movie, but like, where did this gigantic, like, kind of incestuous fandom come from? It's like it's philosophically incestuous. Like they're all just feeding on each other. This whole feed-out look of how fantastic and unimpeachable these movies are, and it's like, where did this come from? I was on Scream fan boards. I was like 11 or 12, and lying about my age online. But
oh no,
don't be away. Did it ever seem like it was that much of a big of a deal, but now it's like,
did it really start with because like once something becomes a legacy sequel, it's like hard to like shake any kind of self-import. Like I feel like that's the same energy with people who are still Star Wars diehards, who are like, no, this is important.
Like Halloween, I guess too. Like Ends disrespected the Michael Myers legacy.
Good, fuck Michael Myers.
Yeah,
one, it didn't.
Boring.
One, it didn't, and also two, it's a masterpiece. How dare you, dumbasses?
Yeah, it actually.
This is a Procore Cunningham podcast. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Damn, we should do an episode on Ends. It'd be good.
Ends is so fucking good.
Just to continue off of what you guys were saying there with Scream 7, like I've been seeing a lot of like, worship of Gail and Sydney, right?
Yeah.
Like being like, oh, they're back. you know, and like
They've been
like
back.
it's just right, like they were
We've
gone
done
for
that
one
before.
movie because Sydney didn't get the paycheck,
Hey,
right?
Gail
Like,
hasn't been gone from any movie.
She's
and
in
then
every
obviously,
single movie.
and like we can talk about the marketing stuff next week, right? But like something about this just feels evil. Like something about this just doesn't feel right. And even the people who are like pushing this, they're trying to will it into being a hit for some kind of ideological point. And you even get people who are just like openly like shitting on Palestine in relation to this film. And I think it's really gross. I think it's disgusting. And I think that like
Yeah, choosing it
it's
as like
Ironically,
points.
it's the kind of fandom that like the good screams are like kind of trying to like warn you
yeah.
about because like it's this we live in this age where of course so much millions are spent on marketing, but they also don't have these posters who are posting about this. They post like it's paid marketing, but they're not being paid. They're just doing it because they're fucking brainwashed, and like that's the idea in and of itself is so insidious. That's like that's a scream concept.
Exactly. It's the exact same thing. You're right. It's about that whole you attach everything of your worth to a singular entertainment concept that it kind of festers in you. That's Billy, that's Mickey,
And it has to be good and
that's
important.
Charlie.
Otherwise, what's my life?
That's
What's my
Richie.
identity?
Exactly. It has to. It matters. It matters, or I don't matter.
Mhm. It's like a million like Matts from Nirvana, the band, the show, just like yelling and screaming about it every week. And like leading up to this release, like I'm really looking forward to the conversation that we're gonna have. I feel like it like that we're kind of almost chomping at the bit in terms of like how hard we're gonna shit on it. But then also there's a part of me that's really dreading it because like everything that we've been seeing up until this point, I feel like is only the tip of the iceberg. I feel like we're gonna see a lot worse very soon.
I think so as well.
I think the fans are gonna get even gross. Like you said, you've already seen like people shitting on Palestine. I think there's gonna be more of that post opening weekend, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it's again, they're taking it to a level where it's like it is unhealthy. It's unhealthy. It's
Because like
unhealthy.
if you were fans of especially 5 and 6, like you don't have any loyalty to Melissa Barrera. Like that's the weird thing is like that there are fans of her,
So there's this
but
YouTuber, right? This horror YouTuber, and he's like, I thought he was pretty reasonable. He's like a reasonable guy. I followed him for a little bit. I've seen some of his videos over the years, and he's like, he feels a picture from the set of like of Five with Melissa Barrera, Courtney Cox, and Nib Campbell. Like like they're all back to back, and he's like, someday we'll see this again. Like, what are you fucking talking about? You
Oh my
fucking freak, you
god.
fucking
oh,
weirdo.
like she's gonna come. Melissa Barrera's come back. No, that's never happened.
Exactly, and like that thing where like it's like what's his name? Graham Linehan. It's like when he made that post about like one day we'll have to have a grand reconciliation.
Yeah, I
About
know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah.
exactly the guy created It Crowd and Follower 10, right? With grand reconciliation where we'll have to discuss how to come together again after we all regain sanity. Like obviously saying like when people are all turfs, they'll have to accept that we were right and we'll forgive them. And that's what that felt like. We're like they're gonna have to capitulate, and then we're all gonna be happy because we'll forgive them. We'll be gracious about
No,
their
I
defeat.
think Melissa Barrera actually has like principles. Like even if they offered her a truckload of money, like that she's not Nev Campbell, that she wouldn't come back.
Mhm.
I at least I
I
want to
hope.
believe that about her.
Yes,
I
exactly.
I think a lot of this speaks to like a growing like side of horror fandom that is just openly conservative, right?
Yeah,
And I think that this is directly linked to what happened with like Late Night with the Devil. I feel like everything that happened there where it was like, oh, but like it's just a small movie. We got to support good horror movies because, they're important, right?
it's a
In the
moral imperative to people.
It's bullshit
exactly.
because people do that same thing with big production. Because I've like made some posts about like how I'm not really in a mood to watch Wonder Man because they used AI design on the props. And you're like, yeah, but it's
Right.
just for a few seconds, and all the other artists that worked on, like, you don't give a shit about the art, like the actual people who worked on it. You just want to like,
You just want to feel like a good person.
yeah,
Exactly.
Like
Even worse than that, they just want that to be a hit. They want you, Doug, to shut your eyes and ears and to just accept it. And it's gross every time. And I
the
feel like
people who
Peter
worked on it
Faller's
already
better
got
than that.
paid. They don't need me to watch.
Exactly. Like they got their paycheck. At that point, like the only person you're helping is Disney, right? So it's like it's this culture fandom brain that's tried to like splinter off in the fallout of Marvel no longer having like the cultural dominance that it once had. And now you're seeing that logic being applied to other franchises. And we'll see how it pays off for Scream. We saw what happened with Late Night with the Devil. It made money, but then its legacy has now been kind of tarnished where like you bring that movie up and people talk about that. So it's like Scream 7
It also
seems to be in a
also
similar
not a good
position.
movie, so it's like it wasn't
Yep.
even. It's like, what was this for?
Yeah, and with Scream 7, it's like all of this much ado is gonna be made about it, right? And at best, it's gonna be just a messy, bad movie, right? But everybody's gonna remember that they sided so hard with Benjamin Netanyahu.
Exactly. That they and it's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. That you can't put the words into like how
It's embarrassing
low.
to the point that I don't think those people can ever come back to reality, because then they would have to humble themselves and admit
Exactly. You
how
want
embarrassing it was.
these people want to believe that they're the good ones, that they're good. And they want to be reaffirmed that they're good, positive, like, oh, you're just sitting on this. You don't understand how important this movie is. You're being negative. It's so passive aggressive bullshit. Taken to
They can't just like the slop. It needs to be like like you said. They need to have that reassurance of like, no, I'm okay. Like morally, this is okay. I'm good.
Yeah, it's like a war. They see themselves as in a war, and they need to fight, and it's like that's not what
we're in the
movies are.
right side of history.
Mhm.
We're the sane ones. We're not being negative. They're being angry, and we're being happy. It's like Scientology bullshit. It's all this cult like bullshit.
There's a difference between leading with kindness and like being
Ignoring
blind to
shit.
cruelty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ignoring stuff. Anyway, it's ridiculous. Anyway, Kim Williamson should be ashamed of himself, and he should have made sick too. I respect him more. I respect him at all, as I mentioned. I
Mhm.
respect him at all.
Everyone who is going to be involved or is involved in Seven should be ashamed. And maybe that'll be most of my. I'll have a list of who should be the most ashamed to leave. It'll be like Nev Campbell, #1, or Kevin Williamson, Nev Campbell, tied.
Yeah. Roger Jackson. Don't think that we forgot your complicity.
Yeah, just because you're on the phone, you were still there.
Mhm. They should have gone. They should have gone the guy from the TV show. At least when as pretty bad
Oh,
too.
that would be funny if they got the guy from the fucking TV series and then they fucking brought Will Fitzgerald back. Like,
They're gonna. I feel like if they keep beating the dead horse, they're gonna have to do some shit like where they're like we're combining continuities,
Right,
multiverse.
so there's been a lot of. I don't know if because we've been posting about the TV show. At least I have as well. These
right.
things. I've gotten a lot of Scream TV show fans on my For You timeline.
Oh,
And
perfect.
there's a lot of stuff on it. I'll send you some examples. But
Oh,
there's a couple of things I've learned because they talk about this show nonstop. So there's real shooters for this show. Okay.
Such a funny concept.
Right. But one, apparently, and there's apparently the pilot, the first episode, had to be extensively reshot because when they filmed the pilot or the first episode, the mask design was more traditionally ghost faced, but hinge mixed with Leatherface.
Yo.
So it was like skin stitched together into a ghost face kind of shape. And there's photos of it, set photos of it before they edited it out, and it looks disgusting as fuck. I'll look for photos of that. It's fucking great. And also, apparently, one of the showrunners, at least according to these people, have said that while we were right on the money, number 3 was going to be the final season because they're like, put all our cards on the table. The final season. One of the showrunners has said that was going to be their final season, but if the final season was successful enough, they had plans for a 4th season where it would pull back and reveal that Scream's seasons 1 to 3 were an adaptation of of Stab.
Oh God.
And so the 4th season was going to be about the actors Willa Fitzgerald, Carlson Young playing themselves.
Oh my God.
Being attacked by a ghost face for being in a Stab TV show.
How insulting would it be, right? like a fan of the Scream series to like get to that point and realize that you've been watching fucking Stab the
Fan
entire
fiction,
time,
fan fiction
right?
too.
Oh,
A bad version of Stab.
oh my god, my heart is breaking right now.
And so their pipe dream, according to whatever these people are recollecting, would be that they would then go and they would try to get like go up to the advice or help from one of the original cast members, or Gail or Dewey or whoever they could
Oh,
get.
whatever. Like, because the fact that the first two seasons are so self-important about the lore, like behind like the original killings that we don't see, that if you like pull back and be like, yeah, that was actually just a movie or like another adaptation. It's like, what the fuck you?
Yeah, that didn't happen though. Like, I think that Richie should have killed the characters on that show if they saw a Stab TV show like that.
And
I'd
also
watch
now
that.
I'm thinking about the commenter we got last week, right? Where they were like, "Oh, like they had these plans, to move forward with the TV series." Like, imagine like that person hearing what you just said, Elvis, right? Like that, like the creators of the show themselves were going to throw away the entire continuity to then do this meta concept, and it all was boiling down to just again Scream worship. They were just doing the same beats again. Like none of this
Scream
was done out
3.
of passion.
Scream
Yeah.
3 again.
Which is the only moves this franchise has at this point. Like, because that's what people are like. They should be upset that the franchise has gotten to this point, but instead they've gone in the other direction where they're like, no, it's actually they need to. It's so much cope. It's just they have to be like, no, that's actually. Oh, it's so brilliant. It's like meta that it's actually intentional and pretty clever that this series fucking sucks.
It's commenting about movies that suck.
Right. It's actually pretty smart.
I'm gonna rewatch Scary Movie to get this taste in my mouth at this point. Talking about Scream and making me watch Scary Movie again. I am.
Good call.
I am.
I actually rewatched 4 and 5 recently. Good times.
Scary Movie.
Actually, yeah, Scary Movie. I rewatched 4 and 5 recently.
5. It was that.
I never saw 5.
Hey, rest in peace. Mac Miller's in it for a second. He's pretty charming.
I do. I've only seen one clip of 2 clips of 5. One of them made me laugh on. I'm like, that's a groaner. That one clip of is that the one in 5 where it's a Black Swan parody little bit?
Oh yes, the Black Swan parody is actually really good because they got Molly Shannon.
Yes,
play the headmistress. It's really funny actually because of her.
I've said that's one clip that made me laugh. Where it's like, she's seeing the graffiti in the mirrors, and it turns out.
I've seen that one. Yeah, that's funny. Is Simon Rex in 4 and 5?
He's in all of it.
He's in 3. He's in 3. He has a cameo in 4, where he dies, and he's back again as a different character in 5.
And in 5, it's like a parody of the Muschietti film, Mama, the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, like you were just saying, Elvis, and Paranormal Activity 2.
That sounds kind of good.
You know what? I'm gonna save 1 for later. I'm gonna watch 5. I've never seen 5. I'll give it a shot.
You've never seen it? Oh yeah, it's not as good as 3 and 4, which like I'd say 3 is probably like my favorite. I do like the Wayans ones a lot. I'd say 2 and 1 would probably be my second and third favorites, and then 4th would be my next 4th favorite. And then 5th is my least favorite, but 5th is still good. Like it's a parody movie that doesn't make you want to like claw your eyes out. Cat Williams is funny in it.
I mean, hey, it has America's sweetheart Ashley Tisdale in it, so how could it be wrong?
She's pretty good in it too.
They got a Medea parody in here. Oh, I gotta watch this.
Medea?
That actually shocked me. It was because it's a Medea parody and it's somebody doing like a pitch perfect Tyler Perry impression.
I thought it was in the picture. I thought it was Tyler Perry, and I was like, no, it's not.
Like I was watching this right with someone, and like we were watching it, and I was just like that looks like, is that Tyler Perry? Did they get Tyler Perry for this? I stopped and we were watching it on Amazon. It had the X-ray feature, and I'm like, so they just got like an amazing lookalike who just looks exactly like Tyler Perry. That is actually
no other credits really other than playing Medea. It's scary.
And they're doing a really good Medea, I have to say. Like they got the voice down.
It's fucking amazing. Okay, so anything else you guys want to say about Sick?
Oh, do they do the Evil Dead remake? It looks like they're doing the tongue cutting. I'm just looking at stills from Scary Movie.
Okay.
Now I just care about Scary Movie 5.
No, I realized I was muted and I coughed a couple times, and that was going to be my final thoughts on Sick. So yeah, that's it.
It's cough. All right. So yeah.
Good movie. Yeah, I have no basis of comparison for Peacock original movies because it's like a streaming service doesn't exist. But I'll just say this is the best Peacock original movie I've ever seen.
I'm gonna agree with you. It's the best Blumhouse movie I've ever seen in my life too.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do our call signs then. So Tony, why don't you start us off? Let us know where they can find you.
Here I am at poor old Rolo Tony. You can find me there. You can also find me as a co-host on These Guys Got Juice with Doug as well.
Woo!
Woo wee! And then yeah, I don't know. Keep your eyes peeled for In Films We Trust. A new episode coming very soon. And then 2 Cent Film Critic. The Predestination pod should be coming out this week or next week. But yeah, new stuff coming all the time. Keep your eyes peeled. Check it out. See you later.
All right, no problem. And how about you, Doug? Where they can find you?
You can find me right here at the Doug Files, and then also, as Tony said, These Guys Got Juice. We've been putting out some pretty exciting stuff lately. We did we did Matt Johnson's first movie, The Dirties, and then we have a Nirvana the band, the movie episode coming out, and then we've also started some weekly pit coverage. But you can check out our episode on the first season, and then like the first half of season 2 is up on the feed. So check that out. The pit.
The pit.
All right. So yeah, no, let's glad you guys could join us, and so we're going to be checking out hopefully not without any compensation to them Stream 7 next week, or maybe not we'll decide later.
I'm gonna watch it on a cam rip on my phone while I am like doing red light therapy, so my face I won't even be seeing the right color saturation for the movie.
Yeah, we're gonna sail the seas for this one.
I'm going to be making sure that Matt Johnson gets another $15 from me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good use. And we'll find out whether or not Scream has any. Well, no, Scream has had any gas in the tank for fucking ages. So we'll see what happens there.
I think this is a Tesla at this point. It's just gonna fucking explode.
Yeah, this is the Tesla Cafe. We're all gonna go and get shitty fries.
Oh, and then 2 strips of bacon. Epic bacon.
Yes.
Give me some epic bacon. I'm Elon Musk. I don't love my children.
He totally does seem like a guy who just never got over epic mealtime. Like he just watched that and then he's like, "That's my personality now."
Honey Badger drink when he like.
Imagine him doing that at the Epstein parties and everyone being annoyed. They're like, "Fucking Elon's here. He's doing like epic bacon shit."
Yeah. The kids were playing Nintendo 64. That was a really dark joke.
Right, we're gonna move ahead before anyone says anything different else. Anyway, Elon Musk should be in jail. Okay. Anyway.
Yes, absolutely.
See you guys next time.
Be on the moon.
We're Scream 7.
Without a
Scream 7. 7th movie. The 7th movie is always the best.
Yeah.
Seventh.
I'm always like, that's when they've worked out all their kinks, right?
They phoned it.
Seven's when you make the most amount of money on the slot machines, right? Like it makes sense.
It's like what the architect said,
What if they do a Furious 7 ending and it's like a computer generated Melissa Barrera face over a lookalike, and then they do the see you again?
Didn't think you could leave without saying goodbye, could you? Like,
all right, we're out. Bye.
Peace out.
Okay, wait, no, I pressed leave instead of end. Okay, now we're in.